But I am enjoying it. I am enjoying being able to give NXT my full attention. I am enjoying being able to sit here and just preview NXT, talk about NXT, not have to worry so much about AEW until tomorrow. But of course, very much looking forward to tomorrow, because that, of course, is going to be a big, big show. Blood and guts. Been a big build for that AEW show, and we will be doing it. So we've got that coming up tomorrow as well. But tonight we've got a very interesting show. We've got the return of Finn Balor. This is going to be the first time that we're going to have seen Finn since WrestleMania week, when he defended the title, lost the title to Karrion Kross. And we're also going to be seeing the women's tag titles on the line. So we're going to be seeing Shotzi and Ember defending against Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell. So we're going to be seeing that. We've also got a Falls Count Anywhere match. And that is going to be Isaiah Swerve taking on Leon Ruff. And we've also got grizzled young veterans taking on Ciampa and Thatcher. So those are the 4 matches, the 4 segments that have been announced. And we'll probably end up seeing Raquel Gonzalez as well, who seems to be on a collision course with Mercedes Martinez. So I'm sure we'll get a bit more there. We might get a bit on that Tian Shah, maybe. We'll probably see Zoe Stark and Toni Storm at some point as well. So there's quite a bit going on in NXT. Quite a bit going on. The show's in an alright place at the moment. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they've got for us tonight. Big shout out to everyone that's in the chat. Hello, hello, hello. Robin said Street Fight and Falls Count Anywhere matches tonight. That is correct. The Street Fight, of course, is the women's tag match. That is going to be Street Fight. I mean, it's going to have to really go some to be as good as the Street Fight that we saw with Karrion and Legado del Fantasma. That was a fantastic Street Fight. So I'm not sure it's going to reach those kinds of levels, but I don't know, it should be fun. It's always fun when you've got The Way involved. They are doing some really good stuff at the moment. Gaming in Real Time, shout out to you. Gaming in Real Time says, I want Roman versus Brock at Survivor Series. That would be good. I'd be down for that. I would very much be down for that. I want that match at any point, to be honest. I just think that the story with Paul Heyman being involved is mouth-watering. So, yeah, I'd be very excited for that. I don't mind if it's SummerSlam, Survivor Series. I don't care which pay-per-view it's at. Hell in a Cell. Any Roman Brock match now with a heel Roman and a face Brock would be awesome. Daniel said, it's a shame that Nate Diaz and Leon Edwards has been postponed, but it does now make UFC 263 stacked, with the card now being Adesanya versus Vettori, Figueiredo versus Moreno, and Nate Diaz versus Leon Edwards. This weekend for UFC looks awesome. I sent a tweet out earlier. I had no idea that this weekend show was as stacked as what it is. This weekend show looks absolutely awesome. I heard as well that they're pretty close to announcing Michelle Waterson taking on Rodriguez. Let's have a look. UFC. I know this got nothing to do with NXT, but okay. Yes, it's been announced. It has been announced. Marina Rodriguez and Michelle Waterson are main eventing this weekend. Michelle Waterson, the karate hottie, and Marina Rodriguez, fantastic fighter. That's going to be a really great main event. Then in the co-main event, you've got Cowboy Cerrone, one of the all-time legends. 36 wins, 15 defeats. I think he's like up there for most fights, most wins, most octagon time, like most performance bonuses. Like, he's just an absolute legend. He's in the co-main event. Neil Magny against Jeff Neal is going to be awesome. Maurice Green. There's people here that we know. But the fight that really stands out to me, Amanda Hebus taking on Angela Hill. Amanda Hebus, love that woman. For those of you that might not remember, she's the one that's really bubbly. She's got the really bubbly personality, and we all fell in love with her. And then she lost, unfortunately, and it seems like she's had to go away back to the drawing board, and now she finds herself just, thrown on this card, really. She strikes me as someone that really has got a lot of potential. She's still very young. And I'm really excited to see if she's made a few adjustments and changes, and if she can come back and get the win. So very much looking forward to this weekend. Genuinely think this is a very tasty looking card. So UFC should be good this weekend. Days, how are you going to get around AEW in the title tomorrow? Well, I think it was LSW that had a really good idea, and that was to just brand the whole thing as one championship. Now, the only problem with that is that we only do the main card. We don't do the prelims and the undercard. We only do the main card, the bit that actually airs on YouTube. So, I mean, I don't want to upset people by branding it all as one championship, and then people join us thinking that we're doing the whole thing, and then it's only just the main card. But I don't know. That might be what we have to do. Or we'll brand it just Blood and Guts, or something like that. Maybe that's a better idea. Maybe if I brand it Blood and Guts and don't use AEW. I mean, hopefully they've got whatever this issue was fixed, because I haven't heard of any other channels getting copyright strikes. For those of you that don't know, there was a load of copyright strikes that got dished out, and it affected lots of different content creators. And now, everyone's a bit nervous about doing anything to do with AEW. But it's a big show. I mean, I want to watch it anyway, so we'll end up doing it. Even if we just do, Wrestling Days live stream or something like this, we'll be live tomorrow. So if you're interested, I'll be here watching it and we'll be doing it. But I'm still not 100% what it'll be called. But it might be one championship. It might be Blood and Guts. Either way, it's going to be the same stream that we always do each week, where we watch AEW and then we watch one after. Joaquin Uribe said, when will we do another retro stream? We probably could have done one on Sunday, but I was really falling behind on stuff. Things had really just built up over the past few weeks. I mean, we've gone from, having big UFC shows. We've had the Jake Paul fight. We've had WrestleMania. So there's just been loads that's happened, in April. And I'm just behind with a few things, The Room was a mess. There's just life just needed sorting out, really. Just, when emails build up, stuff like that. So on Sunday, I just had a bit of a rest as well in bed. I had spent a bit longer in bed, tidied up, just, did stuff like that, really. So Sunday probably would have been the day that we would have done something. I actually don't know if there's anything on this Sunday, so there's maybe a chance that we do something this Sunday. But you'll have to wait for me to confirm that. Going Ghost said, how quickly do you think Zhang Wei Li will get a rematch? Well, I think she'll get the next shot. Rose, after that fight, said that she was up for fighting again this year, wanted to be quite active. She was asked, how are you not going to let the title weigh you down? Because, of course, last time Rose was champion, she really struggled with being champion, because she's got mental health issues, and she can't really deal with the pressure so well. She's got I don't know, I can't remember what you call them, but it's like a dog that's there to provide comfort for her, so that it can I think reduce anxiety and things along those lines. So she it's something that she struggled with. It's all part of why she's one of my, if not maybe my favorite fighter, because there's a lot that she's gone through in her life, and there's a lot that she still struggles with, and she's still able to go out there and be one of the best female martial artists. I mean, one of the best female fighters. She's awesome. So, they asked her this question. She said that she wants to give back. she wants to do something with, be the belt and being a champion. So she's looking at like environmental causes and stuff like this. So she's going to go off and save the planet. But she said that she wants to go off and do that, but she will look to be quite active. So yeah, I mean, later this year, I fully expect that rematch. And I think Dana said that the rematch made the most sense. Miss Clown 1 said, I loved seeing Sheamus post a pic using Drew's book as a coaster. I did not see that. Shout out to you, Miss Clown 1. I hope you are well. I would love to see Daniel in NXT. Could you imagine the matches that we would get? Well, do you know what's quite interesting was that we never saw Daniel yesterday. So is there a chance that we see Daniel tonight? He's got to go somewhere. I don't believe he's done. I do think there's a chance they're giving him a little bit of time off, though. So I'm not saying that 100% we're going to be seeing Daniel tonight. But I definitely think that he is going to be either Raw or NXT bound. I've seen a few rumours where people have been like, that's it, his contract's up, he's going to AEW or something like this. I just don't think WWE would really allow that to happen. I think they'll do whatever they can to keep Daniel, and even if it means signing him to a Legends contract and allowing him, I mean, maybe they would even allow him to go and wrestle in New Japan or something, just as like a, just so they didn't lose him to AEW. I honestly don't know, but it would really be last resort for him to leave and go to AEW. They would not want someone like Daniel with Daniel's name recognition going to AEW. They can say there's no war and all of this as much as they want, but they don't want to be seeing AEW getting stars like Daniel Bryan. So, yeah, I think that he's either going to go to Raw or NXT. But they might be giving him a little break first. They're called emotional support dogs. I have two. Shout out to you, Laurie. Emotional support dogs. So, yeah, she's got one of those. And, I mean, I obviously, I don't mean to cause any offence if I'm using any incorrect terminology. I don't know the terminology. I know that I've seen some shows like, UFC do a good job with documentaries, things like Embedded, Countdown. There's a few things on Fight Pass as well. And, yeah, I've seen like quite a bit about like, what she has to go through day to day. And, yeah, like the emotional support dog that she takes everywhere with her. I think she might even have took it to Fight Island when she faced Andrade last year on Fight Island. I'm sure she took her emotional support dog with her. But I mean, I love her, and I think like she's so inspirational. The stuff that she has to like overcome and everything, and yeah, really cool. I think a lot of fans feel the same. There's a lot of fans that really love Thug Rose. Like, she got one of the best reactions during the whole of 261 weekend. Like, the fans in attendance love Thug Rose. James Chadwick said Daniel Bryan has been banned from SmackDown, so Bryan Danielson will debut on SmackDown. That would be fun. That would be fun. Or put him in a mask. Call him L. Daniel Bryano or something. I don't know. Harry Richards Music said, Days, who would you have take Volta's title? I would have either Dragunov or Dunn. And when I'd have him lose, it would be next year. Then he would have a 3-year reign. Your thoughts? Yeah, I think next year's fine. I think really any time is fine. The only thing I would say is if it was any time soon, I think that would be a shame, because I don't think he's faced any big names apart from like Ciampa. So I would like to see him going up against some big names that realistically could get that title from him. I think there's a lot of those names in NXT. We could be seeing Volta versus Johnny Gargano. We could be seeing him taking on Finn Balor. We could see him take on Adam Cole. We could see him take on loads of NXT talents. But I would have him keep retaining, keep winning. And I think next year would make a lot of sense for him to finally drop it. I would have him lose it to Dragunov. I've said that quite a few times. I haven't changed my mind. I think that Dragunov gave him maybe his best match. I mean, that match was absolutely incredible. And I think that Dragunov is someone that needs the push. And I think for him to be the one to finally beat him, I think would be huge. So, I'd go with Dragunov. Days, would Bryan versus Volta be match of the year? I mean, you'd have to say that it would likely be in contention, but you never know. You never know, because you never know like how their styles are going to work together. What, are they both up for it? Is someone having a bad day? Is someone a bit ill when the match happens? Is someone a bit upset with the creative? Are they not giving their all? So you never really know until the match has happened. But I mean, certainly on paper, it would suggest it would be a match of the year contender. Days, what do you think the payoff of Roderick Strong is? Says Anthony. That's difficult. I mean, I feel like it's likely just storyline, and we're gonna do something else with him in NXT. He might get called up, but he's not the kind of person that's gonna do well on the main roster, because he's like a really good wrestler, but he's not very big, and his promo skills are okay. His promo skills have never been his strength. His strength has always been his very reliable. He's someone that can put on a good match. He's someone that can help train other people or work with younger talent, really bring the best out of them. So he's kind of like, if you've got someone new that joins NXT and you want to see how good they are, you put them in there with Roderick Strong, because Roderick Strong will give them a full MOT, basically. He'll check out everything about them, about their cardio, about their conditioning, their move sets, their selling. He'll put them through their paces, basically. But he's not the kind of person that I can see doing that well on the main roster. I think he'll be another Chad Gable. I think he'll be another Cesaro. Do you know what I mean? Someone that's a great wrestler, but doesn't really have a character, doesn't really have mic skills. So I kind of think main roster's not right for him. Staying in NXT probably makes the most sense. And this could all just be a bit of a storyline, to be honest. Maybe he's got something to do with this diamond mine. Diamond mine, obviously, is a big thing at the moment. It was shown last week. Lots of speculation as to what that's about. Rumours are it's got nothing to do with Tessa Blanchard. Apparently, she has nothing to do with this diamond mine. So we're still a bit in the dark as to what it is. There's a group of guys, fairly new recruits, I believe, that people are saying it might be them. It could also be like this show within a show. That was my first thought when I saw it, because it felt like an MMA show. When I was watching the little video clip, it felt like it didn't even feel like it was NXT. I actually thought we'd gone to commercial break. I mean, it might be like a Raw Underground type thing, but for NXT. Or it could be a new male faction. But there was a lot of speculation. It was Tessa, but apparently no. That's the latest reports. Days, you should get a dog and call it Doggy Days, says Ben Dover. Austin asks, how you doing today, Big D? Hope you are well. Well, the tears have gone. The tears have stopped. After, I got, as you can imagine, absolutely inundated. Mainly with people laughing at me. I would say that was pretty much my social media today. It was just like a lot of people that haven't seen for a while. Even random strangers. Just really getting in touch and just laughing. Just laughing at the fact that Eva Marie's back. And I think a lot of people know that that's going to have caused me intense pain. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to give her a chance, as I said, I'm going to give her a chance. She's been away for a while. I think she's even known that she's been coming back for a while, so she's got to have been doing some training. She's got to. She's got to. I mean, these Eva Marie rumors, I think we were half expecting her in the Royal Rumble. Do you know what I mean? Like, she could have had 5 months, if not more. 6 months of, like, wrestling training, which you're going to get somewhere with that. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to be absolutely atrocious after 6 months. She already had some basics. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'll give her a chance. We'll see. I'm not over the moon with it, and it doesn't seem like the wrestling world was over the moon. There was a big backlash. I saw she was the number 5 trend after SmackDown. No, hang on, Raw last night. She was the number 5 trend on Twitter. And when you looked at all the comments, it was just a load of people just going in, saying they let go of Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, Mickie James to bring in Eva Marie. Which, you know, I must admit, I feel sorry for her about, because that's not her fault, is it? I can't believe I'm actually sitting here defending Eva Marie, but it's not her fault. Like, she's kind of getting a bit of heat there for no reason. Like, she doesn't decide when she comes in, or if she comes in, or, you know, who gets to keep their job and whatnot. So, I kind of felt a bit bad for her on that. That's one on Vince, isn't it, you know? Which, you know, does suck when you think about it. We got rid of Billie Kay. Apparently we can't afford Billie Kay, but we can afford Eva Marie. That does suck. So I saw a lot of comments on that. A lot of comments. So, yeah, I do feel a bit bad for her. The timing is atrocious, isn't it? A few weeks after letting a load of people go. Joaquin said, Days, did you see Jinder's return? I didn't see it, but I heard about it. So he was on main event with Indus Shia, wasn't he, I believe? As I said, I haven't seen it. But, yeah, I'm quite excited for Jinder, which might sound a bit strange. But I actually think that he did a great job of transforming himself. If you think what he used to look like in 3MB compared to what he looked like when he had his championship run, I think Jinder really put the work in. I remember as well, in the early stages of this channel, I was watching, I think it was like Talking Smack, and Jinder did a promo. And there's a video on the channel somewhere of me saying that we need to do something with Jinder. We need to do something with Jinder because he looks amazing. Like, he's all right in the ring. Like, he doesn't set the world on fire, but he's not atrocious. He's not a horrible wrestler. So he's passable in the ring. He's got a good look. And now he's just got a killer promo. His promo on Talking Smack, like, I forget the year. It was like 2016, 2017. Was so impressive. It really caught my attention. And as do a lot of promos on Talking Smack. I mean, if you let talent go on Talking Smack and talk amazingly, they can create great moments. Who knew? Who knew if you just let the wrestlers be themselves? But, yeah, he did a great job. And then, honestly, it wasn't long after that they put the title on him. And I remember when he became champion, I was like, I said, let's do something with him. I didn't think they were going to do this. Like, they put the WWE Championship belt on him, which was wild. And a bit too much of a push. He kind of came out of nowhere to win that. Like, it didn't feel quite right. And then the problem was he kept winning his matches because of the Singh brothers. So, you know, the Bollywood boys, they kept helping him win his matches. So he just came across like, a bit like The Miz. Do you know what I mean? Like, he just wasn't main event caliber, and he was only clinging onto that belt thanks to the Singh brothers. If he'd have been booked a bit more credible, then I think his run would have been a bit better. As it stands, Jinder Mahal might be the worst WWE champion in history. When you go through every champion and you look at everyone that won the championship, when you see Jinder Mahal's name as a part of that list, it doesn't vibe quite right. It still, even now, doesn't sit quite right. It looks weird. Looks like we made a mistake. But honestly, India is a massive market for WWE, and I think that there's a chance that they're going to do something, you know, big with him again. And honestly, I hope they do. I hope that he actually gets another title run. and I hope that they book him a lot more credible this time. I hope this time he starts to win a few matches clean, and has a bit of a better run. Because I always liked his entrance music, I always liked his presentation, I always liked his look. Matches were a bit, that's a bit of a problem. But his promos were very good, and apparently now he's with Indus Sher, who are these two big Indian guys. And, it might just be a repeat of what we saw before. So, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But good that he's back. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with him. It was even worse than Diesel's title reign. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Diesel, for me, was that he had I haven't seen that show yet. But they did the Two Dudes with Attitudes documentary, which I really want to watch on the network. So they did that, and that looks... I might watch that tonight, actually. It looks really fun. I mean, that's such a special time for me because, again, that's right around the time when I'm, into wrestling, getting into wrestling. I think it's 94, 95, and I got into it 92, 93, so by this point I'm well into WWF. Absolutely loving it, and so Two Dudes with Attitudes is got a bit of a soft spot for it. And Diesel was quite credible. His reign was horrible, but I don't know that I look at Diesel and think, oh, he doesn't belong. I can totally understand why they put the belt on him, and obviously he went on to be Kevin Nash, be in the NWO, and we all know it's the same person. And so really it's Kevin Nash. When I see Diesel, I just see Kevin Nash, really. So you are right, Diesel's run was atrocious, but I can see why they did it. I see why they did it with Jinder as well, but they did it with Jinder to try and break into that Indian market. It didn't quite work, I don't believe, but I think there'll be a good chance they'll go for it again, because that Superstar Spectacle did very well for them. I haven't watched that yet either. Yeah, I really want to check it out. Any documentaries that they do around 93, 92, 95, 96, 97, that's my golden era. Amazingly, 98 I can't stand. I'm out at 98. 95 was awful. Don't get me wrong, 95 was absolutely atrocious. 96, we were starting to see some change coming in. 97 is such a sweet year. 97 is just something spectacular. I absolutely love 97. And then, boom, at the end of 97, Montreal Screwjob, and we're off, really. That was it. We're off with the Attitude Era. And then we go into 98, 99, and, I'm not a big fan of the Attitude Era, which I know might upset a few people, but I actually prefer the couple of years before. I much prefer 96, 97. I think there was, for me, it was a nice mixture of the wrestling that I got into, 93, 94. You still had a lot of them people around, but it had got a bit more of an attitude. You could tell there was a change coming. And so it was just a bit of a sweet spot, that 96, 97. Anything around that time is going to grab my attention. So, yeah, I can't wait to watch that documentary. Dazzled by Nature says, only thing I don't get with Eva Marie Evolution, what is that about? Honestly, I have no idea. No idea. I can only imagine if something evolves, then it changes over time. So the fact that they're calling this an evolution suggests that she has changed or that she's bringing change. She's either gone through an evolution or she's going to bring an evolution. Hopefully she's gone through an evolution and she's a better wrestler now. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, literally, all we've got is just that one promo so far, that one video package. So, yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. Shout out to you, Dazzled by Nature. I've got a question. What if Liv brings back her darker character, starts a feud with Alexa? Alexa wouldn't have superpowers. Just let her keep her dark character too. Would that be a good feud? It's hard to say, isn't it? Because we didn't really see this darker character from Liv. I mean, she was in the bath, and that was it. When she came down, she cut a promo with Lana, interrupted the wedding, but that whole segment was a mess. I mean, she said to Lana that she loved her, and then she breaks up the wedding, and she ends by throwing cake at her, and she's laughing at her. And she didn't seem to be doing it in like a crazy way. It just seemed like she didn't quite understand what the story was. And I can't say I blame her. Like, did her character actually love Lana? Was she just trying to break up the wedding? Or what was actually going on there? I mean, it got dropped after a few weeks and never spoken about again. Do you know what I mean? So, very strange story. An absolute car crash. One of the worst things they've done in recent times. Because, the build had been so interesting. She'd been sending out all these cryptic tweets. Everyone was getting so excited. She'd really got herself over. And then they just completely botched it. Completely threw it away. So, I don't actually know what her dark character is. I don't actually know what it stood for, what it meant, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue what the promos were like. I haven't got a clue about that character. Apart from, the only thing was she was in the bath. And she did a couple of vignettes, and that was it. So, it's hard to say if it'd be a good feud, because I honestly don't know anything about the Liv one, because it was only really touched on very, very briefly. Alexa just needs to have proper matches. I can't remember the last proper Alexa Bliss match. The last proper bell-to-bell, proper match. Because the one she had against Asuka obviously had interference where lights are going out and rocking horses are appearing and all this kind of nonsense. So, I said before, I feel so sorry for Alexa. Because I think she's trying to make work, what she's being given. She's doing the best that she can. But when you look online, there's a lot of people laying into her for this character. And a lot of people not on board with this one. This is not being received. I don't think I'm wrong in saying this. Because certainly on my timelines, this is not being received as well as The Fiend. There's quite a lot of Fiend fans that seem to be upset that Alexa has seemingly stolen kind of the Fiend's gimmick, really. She's now got her own doll. She's got a playground. It's very Firefly Funhouse. So, I don't know. You might struggle to win over a few people, even without the supernatural stuff. You might struggle to win over some people with this Alexa thing, because it's so similar to the Fiend. That some of the hardcore Fiend fans that I see on my timeline are just really not feeling this. Are really not feeling this at all. I clicked, there was, I think it was WWE on Fox tweeted something out about Alexa, and when I clicked on it, I read some of the comments, and the vast majority were not feeling it, let's put it that way. So this one really does not seem to be working yet. But, I mean, it is still early doors. I do stand by the fact that if there's no supernatural stuff, and this is going to be her with an imaginary friend that she's always had, she's going to be quite dark, she's going to be quite twisted, she's going to wear a mask that's going to be a lily face kind of a thing, and she's going to have proper matches, I actually think there's something there. I actually think that could be quite fun. So I would be on board. I'd be on board. I don't really need the rubbish, boring promos that she keeps doing. These same things week after week after week. But if she is going to, have this darker personality and it's going to be Lily and, Lily made me do it kind of a thing, I could get on board with that. So I don't think I answered your question about would a feud between Alexa and Liv work, because it's a hard one to answer. But my thoughts are we'd need to see a bit more from that Liv character to really know. And we need to see a bit more from the Alexa character. Dazzle by Nature said, I started watching in 96. In 98, I saw Triple H wrestle Shawn. I was saying to my buds, they won't come over here. They were at my feet of me. I almost myself. Dazzle by Nature, shout out to you. That's very cool. So Shawn Michaels, Triple H were fighting at your feet. There's not many people that can say that. So yeah, that's awesome. That's very, very cool. Austin said, I never look through WWE comments. It's never good. Anthony said, Days, we want Evolution, but they gave us Evolution. C-Nation Dog said, the Alexa Bliss is cringe as a scary person and ruined and stole the Fiend Bray Wyatt's gimmick. I'm honestly not, like, just saying this, like, for the sake of saying it. I genuinely wanted to know. I mean, like, I thought yesterday's promo from her was rubbish, just rubbish. Like, it's the same thing week after week after week, and we've seen them do this a lot. Like, how many weeks in a row did we have to see, like, Randy Orton, like, spewing up black goo? Like, creative just didn't have anything else up their sleeves. They didn't know what to do. And so, like, week after week after week, we had to see the same thing. They're doing the exact same thing here as well. Week after week after week, it's Alexa on a swing. You've got Lily. You've got Alexa saying, like, you know, Lily has seen someone she wants to beat up, or Lily has been with me my whole life. It's just little nothing's, like, there's nothing significant that ever happens. I'm sure, like, fans of this Alexa story will probably go, well, she was in the background of, like, that's significant. No, it's not. How is that significant? She was in the background of, like, so what? It just doesn't mean anything. It's just not. I don't know. Perhaps I'm just so unengaged that until, like, Alexa starts, like, getting in someone's face, until Alexa starts having matches again, until Alexa starts doing more than just sitting and talking on a swing, I'm just not. I'm not impressed. I'm not on board. And as I said, it seems like quite a few, certainly of the Fiend community, are feeling the same. Dazzle by Nature. I meant 2 feet off of me. I saw the typo. Well, yeah, that doesn't matter. I mean, even if they were just a couple of feet away, that's still very, very cool to be that close to Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and especially if you were, like, out with your mates as well. That's really fun. So yeah, I don't really have too many stories like that. My favourite story, which people will have seen if they've been with the channel for a while, I went to Royal Albert Hall in London, and I saw NXT there. And it was NXT UK, actually, but NXT was a part of it. Like, one of the matches had Shayna Baszler, one of the other matches had Adam Cole. But the match that I think started the night was for the NXT tag titles. It was Undisputed Era versus Mustache Mountain. Mustache Mountain win the belts, and they jump into the crowd, and I'm literally celebrating with Tyler Bate and Trent Seven when they win the belts. They jump into the crowd right by where I am, and there is a picture of me and Tyler literally a minute, not even that, after he's just won the NXT tag title. The show is on. When this picture was took, the show was happening, and there's this picture. So absolutely incredible. That's my only story of, like, something similar to that, where the show's on and the wrestler gets close. I've never been in, like, you know, when Roman used to walk down through the crowd and the Shield used to. I've obviously never had that experience. We've had people in the chat that have been sat there as the Shield have walked past or stuff like this, which is really cool. And there might be people that have had, like, wrestlers, like, doing street fights in the crowd. Or, I mean, there's been quite a few times where wrestlers have gone into the crowd. But, yeah, that's my only story. Royal Albert Hall, but it's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one. Anthony said, Days, do you think WWE should move Alexa or Bray to SmackDown to avoid the same gimmicks? No. The reason I say no is because I'm not a huge fan of either right now, because of the supernatural stuff. So having them both on Raw works better for me, because, like, I don't have to worry about it on SmackDown. Plus, I'm not too sure that it works very well on SmackDown, because SmackDown is a bit more sports orientated, and as a result you don't tend to get, you know, too much of that kind of a thing on SmackDown. I think, wasn't it on SmackDown he was doing just very generic promos? I think it was when he moved back to Raw that we were getting bigger Funhouse kind of episodes, segments. I kind of think he was being a bit limited with what he could do on SmackDown. I think he had a bit more creative freedom on Raw, so I don't think that even Bray Fiend fans would want him to go back to SmackDown. And honestly, Alexa, I think, is just doing my head in at the moment. Which is such a shame, because I've got nothing against Alexa. I think Alexa is actually a decent wrestler. I think that she is very valuable to the company. She's obviously a very good-looking woman, and that's obviously valuable to the company as well. She gets crazy views, and she's got loads of stan accounts and people that are fans of Alexa and whatever. But I just preferred what she was doing before she was doing this. I preferred it when she was on her own, and she was, the going around being like champion and being a bit bratty. I liked that Alexa. So it's we'll see where it goes anyway. Hopefully they've got something planned. Robin813 said, Days, an interesting fact. Next Tuesday will be 11 years since Daniel Bryan's last match in NXT. That's cool. Fox didn't like the Fiend character, says Anthony. I can't say I've heard that, but I wouldn't be too surprised by that, because they did limit the character more. He didn't get as many opportunities to do what he can do. I mean, we saw him do a lot more Funhouse stuff, and we saw him kind of go a bit further on Raw than what he was doing on SmackDown. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was true. I wonder how many people Alexa machines are going off right now. Well, probably, yeah. William said, Bliss can go to SmackDown and just wrestle, no magic stuff. Well, I mean, I don't mind having a dark personality. I don't even mind the imaginary friend, Lily. I maybe don't need the doll, but I understand that I'm not the target audience for this. So, okay, people are free to like what they want to like, and there's going to be lots of, different things that people enjoy. But it's just not for me. So I just want to see her have some matches now, to be honest. I just want to see her go out, have a good match, and we'll see. I mean, it seems like we're starting with something here. I mean, Sonya Deville, though. I mean, if it is going to be Sonya Deville, I don't quite get that. I'm going to struggle with that, because I don't know if Sonya can wrestle. I don't know if Sonya can compete. Again, I mean, I don't know if this is the way they're going to bring her back into the ring, but you'd imagine Alexa's going to win that feud. So, is that the right way to bring Sonya back? I don't know. It's interesting. Days, I was in the crowd at Money in the Bank when CM Punk won the title. Honestly, one of the coolest moments of my life. To be that close to Punk when he was sat on the barricade. I was there. That is awesome. That is really cool. If you could be in the crowd for any moment, that has got to be right up there because that is regarded as one of the best ever WWE matches, one of the most significant WWE moments. Yeah, absolutely huge. I mean, that's one of the biggest, best moments of the past 20-odd years. So to say you were there for that is very cool. Laurie says, where is RK Bro going? Well, I think they're going to keep teaming for a while, and eventually they'll split and there'll be a feud. But don't know when that's going to happen. But honestly, I think they're working at the moment. Their segment was quite fun last night. So I'm on board with RK Bro. I don't mind RK Bro. I think let's see what they can do. Let's try and milk a bit more out of them. I think that was one of the positives to come out of Raw, and I think it was getting fairly unanimous praise. Vape Ross Vape said, in my day, we were scared by Abdullah the Butcher. I'm still scared by Abdullah the Butcher. Yeah, he was a bad man. Scars all over his forehead, constantly cutting himself, bleeding, blading. And he was a big guy as well. Yeah, Abdullah the Butcher, absolutely awesome. Superstar, wrestler. And yeah, that is someone to be scared of. It's cool, man. Abdullah the Butcher. Always think about WCW and that electric chair when it comes to Abdullah, which was such a stupid moment. But Days, what if WWE is making you think Orton is turning, but it's Riddle that turns? I'd be very surprised by that. I think that we've spoke about this. I kind of feel that they're exploring a few things for Riddle, and I think they've kind of got something with this annoying on a scooter. I don't know. I feel like there is something that could work there. So for them to just turn their back on that and make him a heel would be very strange. So they could be doing a swerve, but I don't know if I'd recommend it. I kind of feel like they're onto something with this. Still needs fleshing out, and we still need to, get a bit more consistency, because some of the things he says aren't funny, to be honest. But some of the stuff he says is, and there's something there. There's something there. I'm on board with what they're doing with Riddle and RK Bro at the moment. I'm looking forward to seeing where it's going to go. Grant said, I wish Bray would invade NXT and attack legends like Regal and Triple H, like in the early days of The Fiend. Jimmy said, I saw Kevin Von Erich versus Kabuki live as a kid. I was scared to death of Kabuki. Yeah, well, again, I could understand why. That, again, very cool to see Von Erich in action live. That's very cool. Brad said, as big as Abdullah is, it's funny that his voice sounded like Kermit the Frog. The High Flyer said, I prefer Alexa with this Lily way more. I hope it is the way they go forward with Bliss. At least it's bearable. As opposed to what, her before? Or her with Bray? What are we saying? At least this is bearable. As opposed to what? Did you not think when she was with Bray that was bearable? Days, is there a new toy hunt on the way? Yeah, I'm not really in a rush, to be honest. Because the shop's only reopened a couple of weeks ago. They may have got some new stock in now. They may have restocked and everything. I honestly don't know. But I'm just not really in a rush. Not really in a rush to go out. I kind of want things to settle down a little bit. I kind of felt like when the shops first reopened, there might be quite a lot of people that go to them, and I've got no desire to fight through crowds to do a toy hunt. So I'd rather go once some new stocks come in, once the shops have been open for a little while, just go and, do one quite comfortably rather than having to battle people. So, yeah, there will be one soon. Anthony said, Nick Aldis said his meeting with Billy and will request a title for title match soon. Okay, that's cool. Mattel need to make an Abdullah the Butcher figure. They do. They've never made one. Yeah, they've never made one. I don't know if they've got... I don't know how they'd get the rights, actually. Because... Well, I'm sure they could find a way. They've got, China done and everything, so I'm sure they'd find a way. Harry Richards said, how do you see Ted DiBiase, Cameron Grimes storylines playing out? Personally, I think if done correct, it could be brilliant. I think it'd be really good if Ted DiBiase was sort of a mentor, manager, advisor to Cameron Grimes. I like the idea of Cameron Grimes getting annoyed at Ted DiBiase, and I think you could do some vignettes where, you know, Ted DiBiase keeps upstaging Cameron Grimes, and in the end, you know, they decide to work together. And I'm not saying that Ted DiBiase is going to be seen every week on NXT coming out with Cameron Grimes. I wouldn't do that. I would just have it whereby they kind of come to an agreement, an arrangement, and you kind of know that the $1 Million Man supports Cameron Grimes, and maybe even gives him the $1 Million belt. Maybe something along those lines. Do you know what I mean? Like, they become good friends, and he goes, look, I want you to have this. And he gives him the $1 Million belt. I think that could be very interesting. That might be something worth exploring. I hope it wasn't just last week and done. That would be a bit of a shame, but it was still great last week. I still enjoyed it. James Chadwick said, Days, could Evolution be a group she's going to bring in similar to Evolution, and it would have Parker in it? I don't think Parker would be in it. I know they've trained together, but he's got to be too green. I mean, to my knowledge, he's got no wrestling experience, so unless he's just going to be, like, silent in the background, just looking huge and, you know, that's it. Not going to do really anything with him for a long time. I don't know why you'd bring her in. Why you'd bring him in. Yeah, I mean, I honestly wouldn't. You wouldn't see Parker till 2022 if I was booking. Like, I would use the whole rest of this year to figure out his character, figure out his music, get him wrestling. Like, just constantly, like, teach him stuff, performance center. Like, I'd be running him into the ground. And it's going to take months and months and months and months and months and months and months. I mean, it should take years and years and years and years and years. But I understand they're going to want to move with him quite quick. So I'd imagine that, you know, end of this year, early next year, that might be when you first see him. But could it be a group? Maybe she is going to be bringing up some people. That might not be the worst way to use her. That way she's like in more of a managerial role, which again might not be the worst way to use her. So good shout. We want a Brody Lee, John Silver battle pack, says Anthony. Parker Bordeaux. It's honest, I can't, every time I look at pictures of him, I can't get over how young his face looks. He looks 12. He honestly looks 12. So he really does need to get some stubble or something. I don't know what. A face tattoo, because he looks so young in the face, and I don't think the hairstyle does anything for him. If I was booking him, I'd be like, you're changing your hair. I want you to change your hair, and like, we need to punch you in the face a few times, because your face, you look like a 12-year-old boy. And I don't mean that in an offensive way. I just mean, like, he's got such an incredible look. His body is just amazing. And he's got such a good gimmick with this Destroyer of Gods. I mean, that is so cool. He calls himself the Destroyer of Gods. That's cool. And he looks great. And the only thing I can't get past is he just looks so young. So, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with that. But, you know, like how Brock's got a few scars and things. Just, you know what I mean? Take Parker out back with a baseball bat. And just get a few scars going for him. Batter his face up a little bit. I don't know. Days, have you got any ringside collectibles exclusives? I've got a couple, yeah. I've got the Hogan American Made. There's the Kane that came with the Hardcore Championship. There's probably a few that I'm forgetting, but yeah, I've got a few. Are Parker and Scarlett brothers? Because it's a great story. No, I don't believe they are. I think they just share the last name. Do you think the Fiend will have a feud with Drew? Maybe. I mean, like, probably. It'd be hard to say no, because he's going to have to feud with someone. So, yeah. I don't know what the backstory would be. I don't know why he would go after him, but I'm sure they'll figure something out. So, yeah, one day, I'm sure. Josh says, what do you think we'll see tonight on the Diamond section? The Diamond Mine thing, I think it might just be another little teaser. I don't know that you're going to get any answers. Normally, they tease these things for a good few weeks. They might show you just a little bit more. I don't know. It might just end up being the exact same video. But there might be something a bit different and you see a little bit more. But honestly, I wouldn't get your hopes up for too much tonight. I wouldn't get your hopes up for too much more. I certainly don't expect an answer. But we'll have to wait and see. What's next for Balor? Well, we'll find out. Not really too much of a need to speculate because he is on the show tonight. So we should get some answers on that. So looking forward to seeing what he's got to say. As we said, we haven't seen him since WrestleMania. So what is next for Balor? My fear is that Diamond Mine might be a bunch of no-names. There's a very good chance that is what it is. Do you think Eva would show up tonight? No. She's been advertised for Raw, so I don't expect to see her tonight. Dave, CM Punk should go into the Hall of Fame. Do you agree? Yep. Would you agree and say Brock only wrestles when Heyman gets laid? I would imagine that someone that can talk as well as Paul Heyman is quite a success with the ladies. Let's put it that way. I should imagine, if I know ladies, and I know ladies, they love a good promo. So I would imagine that Paul Heyman does all right. Ugly that Parker up. Yeah, that's what they need. That's exactly what they need to do. Ugly him up. He's far too pretty. He's a pretty boy. Daze, do you think Balor will be the one to dethrone Volta? I don't think so, and I hope not, because he doesn't need it. Balor is already a big name, and I think that's part of the problem with the streak as well. When Undertaker lost to Brock was already a big name. So I think I was really disappointed that they chose Brock at first. I kind of felt like Brock didn't need it, but in retrospect, it was all right. It was all right. In retrospect, now that we're a good few years removed, I can look back and say, now the shock has gone. It was all right. Was there better options? Maybe Roman would have been a better option. I know a lot of people would say Bray would have been the better option, but look at how Bray was booked. Do you know what I mean? Like, unless they were going to change his booking, then Bray wouldn't have been the right person. It would have been a waste. So, unless they changed his booking, if he beat The Undertaker and then they booked him like an unstoppable force and, treated him really, really well, then yeah, that would have been great. But The Fiend exists because of how bad Bray was treated when he was the cult leader. So him beating Undertaker wouldn't have worked. Anyway, that is by the by. We are going over to NXT right now, my friends. Got a little promo for Isaiah Swerve and Leon Ruff. Oh, is it beeping? Do you know what? I can't hit. Is it beeping? It's not beeping. I haven't even got the clock. I just got Roku for New Japan, but it says only 2020 episodes. How do I watch new or old ones? I don't know. Does anyone watch New Japan on Roku that might be able to help? I don't have Roku, so I really can't answer. Street Fight tonight. Falls Count Anywhere tonight. NXT, NXT, NXT. Here we go. We are in the Capitol Wrestling Center. Was there any bits on we needed to talk about? Diamond Mine we spoke about. Jinder we spoke about. Yeah, we spoke about everything. Leon Ruff was starting with... We're starting with the Falls Count Anywhere. And look at this. I got my Tony Storm shirt on. Which I found. I completely forgot I had, actually. Leon Ruff versus Swerve Scott. I really like Leon Ruff. I liked him when he was like a jobber. He showed really good like flashes of what he was going to achieve. And then, of course, he went on to win the North American Championship. They really invested hard in Leon Ruff. Like, really pushed him. Gave him that belt. He looks a bit thin, doesn't he? He looks a bit thin. I'd like him to tone up a bit more. Get a bit more muscle on. But, as a wrestler, I think he's very impressive. He reminds me a bit of Ben Carter. The reason why I say that is because he does have aerial abilities, but he doesn't, like, just constantly do aerial stuff. He kind of mixes them in with some really good storytelling. I think he's a very good wrestler. Dazzle by Nature said, in fact, that's a match I'd love to see. That Ben Carter, I can't remember his name now. He's in NXT. But him against Leon Ruff, I think, would be a great match. Dazzle by Nature said, just the thought Sonya Deville should be this GM backstage role at SmackDown and avoid Adam Pearce. Yeah. I mean, they might be heading that way. We're not too sure. There seems to be a bit of dissension between her and Adam Pearce. Leon Ruff runs over to Swerve. Swerve puts his knee up. And Ruff runs into the knee of Swerve. Yeah, he just absolutely charged at him. Into the corner goes Ruff. Love that spot by Ruff where he bounces off the ropes. Goes under the legs. I'm sure you'll see it in this match. He tends to go to it most of his matches. Boom. It looks like his mom dragged him out of the swimming pool. Look at that. Nice over the top. Looking for a crucifix pin. Couldn't quite get it. Strike by Swerve. Strike to the midsection. Kick to the side of the head. Ruff goes down. Nathan Fraser. Yes, that's it. Nathan Fraser. I was singing his praises. I mean, obviously, a lot of people have been singing his praises, but I really like the way that he's got aerial stuff, but he doesn't overdo it. He mixes it in with, like, a pretty normal match. And Ruff is someone that does that. Suicide dive, but gets caught. He's on the shoulders. Ah, look at that hold. Oh, Swerve just hurling. Look at the bumping that Ruff is taking here. Just think about the first few minutes of this match and how many bumps and big bumps that Ruff has already taken. Through the ropes, goes onto the shoulders of Swerve. Swerve just hurls him into the edge of the ring. That was cool. Into the barricade goes Ruff. This is Ruff. He's being rough on Ruff. Oh, look at him, man. He's just getting thrown around the Capitol Wrestling Center. Picks him up. Oh, onto the entrance ramp. Shoulder up. This is... We've had not fair to Flair. Now we've got someone being rough to Ruff. OMG. I like how they're not making Ruff a joke. He was the North American champ and he puts on good matches, says to Boy. His problem is his look, isn't it? His problem is his look. He's too small, too thin. But if WWE had a credible cruiserweight division, it'd be great for that. I've said before, could you imagine a cruiserweight division that had Ricochet, Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, Jordan Devlin, Leon Ruff? Do you know what I mean? All these guys that are under 205, and a championship that can main event pay-per-views. When I say credible, I really, really mean credible. I'm saying a belt that is equal to the WWE Championship. Rather than having WWE and Universal, why not have WWE and Cruiserweight? Have WWE Heavyweight, WWE Cruiserweight. Whoa! Massive suplex! Big superplex off the top. Oh, I swear he touched the ceiling fan. 1, 2. Wow. That was huge. That was absolutely huge. I don't know what just came. Was that a gum shield that came out of Scott's mouth? Something just came out of his mouth. He put it back in. Must have been like a gum shield of some kind. This is Swerve's house. Swerve channeling his inner page. Rough to rough. Cheek to cheek. Lady in red. I missed the voiceover lady, says Dabble by Nature. I know. I said I was going to bring her back, didn't I? Forgot that. That slipped my mind. Days, I just got home from the store. Have I missed anything? No, it's only started 9 minutes ago. It's good, though. Oh! Ruff has been bumping all over the Capitol Wrestling Center. I'd love to go there. I'd love to go in that crowd. If that's going to be where the show is going forward, and maybe they won't go back to Full Sail, I'd love to be in that crowd. Oh, wow! Leon Ruff was right against that barricade. Isaiah Swerve just hurled the toolbox. And when I say hurled, I really mean it. Like, really threw that toolbox with such intensity. Ruff looked like how I looked when Eva Marie returned. Toolbox, that was, yeah. What is it that Sonny normally says? Yeeted it. He yeeted it over. Damn, that toolbox throw. The belt collector, Kenny Omega, says Corey. Days, you already know that Vince hates small guys, so sadly a cruiserweight division will always remain irrelevant. I know, and that's the problem, because I think it's such a quick win. I think you've got, you could have a belt for the bigger guys, and you could have a belt for the smaller guys, and I think, like, honestly, a cruiserweight belt could easily main event a pay-per-view. Easily. I mean, you're telling me Rey Mysterio versus Ricochet isn't main event worthy? Like, absolutely it is. If you build up Ricochet. I mean, Ricochet had an opportunity against Brock for the title. But if you gave him some momentum, really built up Ricochet and put him in there against a legend like Rey Mysterio, you know, you'd get such a great match out of that. That would be so incredible. I mean, that's the kind of wrestling that I'd love to see. And you could do some awesome stuff with that. Leon Ruff would be great in that division. It would give some life back to 205, you know. And it could be a belt that gets defended all over WWE. That whoever the champion is could go to the different brands and defend it. You know, use each show like a different territory. We've spoke about that before, so it's pointless talking about because it'll never happen. But I mean, they did make a nice little push with the cruiserweight title. Not that, you know, a few years ago we were seeing it being on Raw, whatever. But it was always, you know, buried on the card somewhere with guys that were never really over, and they never really did anything to get them over. It's just a way of promoting 205 Live, really. But the one thing I will say about that cruiserweight division, could you imagine if Enzo hadn't left and Pac hadn't left and Austin Aries hadn't left? Like, they did actually put some names in there. It's just they kept leaving. So that was part of the problem. Should there be an NXT Hall of Fame? No. I don't think so. Because you've got a WWE Hall of Fame, and it'd be a bit weird to do an NXT one. I would just leave it as WWE. If you do an NXT one, then it's getting a bit confusing. If you're doing an NXT one, you could argue, should there be a Raw one? Should there be a SmackDown one? And you could have a Hall of Fame for anything then. So I'd just leave it as a WWE Hall of Fame. Joaquin Uribe said, should Sin Cara, a.k.a. Hunico, go into the Hall of Fame? I mean, I don't think so. Because I don't know how long he was around for, but he wasn't... Even if he was around for like 7-8 years, maybe even longer than that, he wasn't used all that much. He wasn't used loads. So, I don't know that he can go in. He didn't achieve loads of championships, and not for me. I think he'd be a weak entry. 1, 2. Leon Ruff trying for the pin there. So, we've just come back from commercial break. We are coming up to 15 minutes into the show. It's been an alright match, this. I mean, they have fought all over the Capitol Wrestling Center, around the ringside, on the entrance ramp. Obviously, we saw that toolbox getting yeeted. We've seen Leon Ruff get chucked around everywhere. So, there's definitely been some stuff in this match. Big strike there by Isaiah Swerve. At the Baltimore Arena... in the restrooms was called the Benoit Sullivan bathroom because it was the bathroom where their match ended at Great American Bash. That's cool. That's very cool. I didn't know that. Ruff is been picked up, but he's gone for that crucifix. And he does manage to get some of it and goes for the pin. Oh, kick out by Swerve Scott. Leon Ruff having to dig quite deep. That was high, man. Look at that. Look how high up he was there. Mamma mia! Sin Cara could go into the Botch Hall of Fame. A commentary Hall of Fame. Imagine Adam Cole walks out. Thanks the fans for listening every week to the big dog. What do you mean? Out the ring goes Leon. Scott goes to punch him, but punches the ring. Ruff. Looking for a reverse Rana. Scott didn't land on his head, thankfully. But does end up still taking a big fall to the outside. Just seeing a replay of it here. Holy shit, says Robin813. There should be a fake crowd noise Hall of Fame, says Jimmy. Yeah. One more match would have to go in there that they piped in for the Bellas. I want a Leon Ruff action figure that I can just throw against the wall repeatedly. It'll do it itself, don't worry about it. That's the great thing about the Leon Ruff action figure. It just goes and does it itself. It runs up to your roof and just keeps jumping off your house. He goes into the barricade. Oh, driver on the outside. 2. Oh, kick out by Leon Ruff. Oh, man, he's dragging him by his mouth. Dragging him by his mouth, taking him over. He's got Leon Ruff right by the ring steps. Swerve in control at the moment. Leon Ruff moves out the way. Swerve drives his knee into the ring steps. Leon Ruff with that toolbox. Oh, right into that same knee. That was a bit weak. Leon Ruff going up top. Frog splash. 1, 2. Kick out. Kick out by Swerve. Leon Ruff managed to just hit a frog splash and didn't spend about 20 minutes after going. Oh, he didn't Montez Ford it. Oh, he just hit it and just carried on with the match. You love to see it. Heel hook. Oh! Heel hook applied by Leon Ruff. Ruff up in the corner. Look at that stunner. Ruff just throwing anything and... Cutter to the outside. Clothesline. Over the barricade goes Swerve. Ruff on the barricade. Is he climbing up that platform? He's climbing up a ladder. There's a ladder that just happened to be there. AJ Francis. Okay. I don't know who that dude was. Who is that? I don't know. They just said AJ Francis. And he gets planted. Looks like Swerve's winning this. And he does. He does. AJ Francis, who's that? I can only imagine. He said it was part of Swerve's entourage. So it must be someone that hangs out with Isaiah Swerve. Maybe it's someone that's in the recording studio. Sonny, shout out to you. I hope you are well. Swerve has got a bodyguard now. Yeah. Plants him on top of the barricade. Weren't those the people? Do you know when he's in the recording studio and you've got them people in the background? I think he's one of them, isn't he? Yeah, look, there's all 3. Right, well, we're done. With that match, here is Finn Balor. The Prince arrives. Balor, yep. He's the guy from WWE's Hidden Treasure show, says Crystal. I've only seen one episode of that. I don't remember seeing him. But that's cool if he is. Matt Hopkins says, next King of the Ring tournament should involve NXT, SmackDown, and Boring Raw. Our Boring Raw in it. I'd love it if it involved all of the brands. That would be great. That would be great. Matt Hopkins, shout out to you. I don't know when the next King of the Ring is. We haven't had one for a little while. Going Ghost said, hot take. Even though Ricochet is under contract until the summer of 2024, he will leave WWE because they don't know how to utilize him. That will be sad. Yeah, they don't have... I can't get my head around it. How are they not looking at UFC and seeing the success that UFC are getting from some of their smaller guys? I've said before, do you know, in UFC there's only one division that's heavier than 205 in UFC. Of all their divisions, they've got flyweight, bantamweight, welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, lightweight. Of all their divisions, there's only one that's actually heavier than 205. A lot of the UFC fighters are under 205. The vast majority are under 205. So it's crazy to think that outside of the heavyweights, pretty much everyone in UFC would be competing under 205, under like 205 live. And look at how UFC, I think, is worth more than WWE now. So I think it sold, was it for 4 billion? I can't quite remember the number, but it's crazy that they're not looking at the success of UFC and thinking to themselves, do you know what? Just as long as the matches are good, as long as the stories are good, it doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter. It's just this thing that Vince has got. I do understand that the bigger guys are eye-catching, and I do understand that the bigger guys are, maybe going to be your biggest draws. But, I mean, there's no reason why they're not pulling the trigger with Ricochet and doing more with the smaller guys. And I think that is something that will change immediately once Vince is gone. I think that's something that will change. I don't know, he hasn't kept up with the times, has he? I think back in the day, your Hogans, your Andres, that's how you used to get people through the door. Those were the stars people wanted to see, the Warriors. The steroids and massive bodies, and do you know what I mean? That's what people, reacted to. But this world has changed, and I think now, like, people are just into good stories, and it really doesn't matter. I mean, like, women's wrestling just wasn't a thing, was it? Back in the late 80s, for WWE at least. Because, again, I don't think they looked at the women as being anything special, because they were quite small. And, they were just an attraction, something you could put on the card, but never really a main focus. But, I mean, as you said, the world has changed. I think women's wrestling is as important now, and we are going back to NXT. We've got The Way. I don't want to miss this. Oh, hello. William Regal with Scarlett. I'm the number one champion, says Johnny. Austin, let's go. Austin said those are huge. Are they real? He was like, those are huge. Are they real? They must be real. And he was talking about her nails. Boobs. Scarlett. Yep. Ashley Hale. I don't know who Ashley Hale is. I know who Cameron Grimes is. Right, we're moving on. We're almost a quarter of a way through this show. Cameron Grimes versus Ashley Hales. I thought Ashley Hales was Shane Thorne for a second. That's not a bad shout, actually. It does look a little bit like that. Cameron Grimes. Days, would you like to see Jon Moxley as a heel in AEW? Don't really mind. It wouldn't really affect me, to be honest. I like him with Eddie Kingston, so I'm quite happy to explore that first. I don't know who that lady was. Oh, that's the woman that's always coming out with Karrion Kross. It's Scarlett. Okay, Ashley Hale's in control. Do you actually think they are real? No, they're fake nails. Shoulder tackle by Cameron Grimes. Jumping over the top. Underneath. Goes to the clothesline. Good work. This by Ashley Hales. That's good. Nice. Ashley Hales. Not just a jobber by the looks of it. Grimes reverses. Hales against the ropes. Big clothesline. Hales goes down. He needs some knee pads. Who? Ashley Hales? Kick to the midsection. Yeah, he doesn't. He hasn't got any, has he? Hales down in the corner. I'm just watching Hales. I just want to know a little bit more about him. Nice kicks. Uppercut. Hales goes down. Good bump. Against the ropes goes Hales. Another big kick. Nice enziguri. Cameron Grimes against the ropes. Catches the leg of Grimes. Catches the other leg of Grimes. Crosses it over. Going up off top looking for a tornado DDT, but couldn't get it. Nice kick. I like that as well by Ashley Hales. Nice missile drop kick. 1, 2. I tell you what, it's getting a bit of offense in here. Nice energy. Against the ropes goes Ashley Hales. Goes for a kick. Cameron Grimes round the back, but reversed. Into the corner. Against the ropes. Knee to the midsection by Grimes. Grimes scoops up Hales. Looking to put him away. Side slam. I think that might be it. And there is... I don't know what he calls that. I can't remember what he calls his finisher, but he hits it. And Cameron Grimes beats Ashley Hales. Not a bad little showcase for Ashley Hales, considering we didn't know anything about him. He had some nice kicks. A few nice moves in there. Didn't get to see a great deal, but seems very competent. Let's put it that way. But, yeah, not a bad little showcase. Right, we've got Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter. I wonder if Casey Catanzaro and Ricochet are still together. Ashley Hales. The cave-in is Grimes' finisher. Thank you. To the moon! Here's Frankie Monet. She's not doing it for me yet. I mean, we haven't seen her wrestle yet. She's very annoying. She's a good heel. Okay, commercial break. Days, how is Mama Days? She's alright, thank you. You're saying it wrong. It was Asher, not Ashley. Oh, I thought it was Ashley. Frankie will be a heel. Days, could Diamond Mine be like the Brawl for All, but for MMA? Well, it could be, but I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would do that because mean, the Brawl for All is regarded as one of the worst things they ever did. It's one of the biggest mistakes they ever made. So, I mean, like, that's the UFC, innit? I mean, that would just be MMA. If they do a legit fight-in tournament, but MMA-wise, that would be, they're starting their own MMA show, basically. So, I don't know that that's the right way forward. I mean, it's right in my wheelhouse. Don't get me wrong, I'd be super excited. But, the Brawl for All is regarded as one of the worst things they ever did. Interesting thought, though. Interesting thought. AJ Bishop said thoughts on whether Mansoor and Escobar would be a good feud. I don't know enough about Mansoor, to be honest. I've never seen enough of him. I've seen a couple of his matches, but I've never really seen anything of substance. I haven't seen promos. I don't know what his promos are like. And I've never seen any kind of. I've never seen like a decent Mansoor match. I mean, the only Mansoor matches I've seen have been in Saudi Arabia. And obviously he had a match on Raw. He looked all right. I just don't know enough about him. I don't know enough about Mansoor. It's so weird that he's on Raw and he just like spent no time in NXT. I think he had some matches, but he was not a regular character that was having like loads of feuds. He just made like occasional appearances, and not even that many, I don't think. I think he spent longer on 205 Live. I think. I don't know. I don't watch that show, so I couldn't tell you if it'd be a good feud or not, because I don't know enough about Mansoor. We're all going to find out together, aren't we, now that he's on Raw? Harry Richard said, Days, I don't understand why WWE haven't pulled the trigger on Tyler Bate. As soon as he lost the title, it went down from there. What are your thoughts? I think he's young. I think that they gave him the belt to get the ball rolling. I think they achieved that. I think that he's very skilled for his age. I think that he also maybe needed to flesh out his character a little bit. We needed to learn a bit more about him. And I think they were doing well. And then, honestly, the pandemic hit. And who knows what they were going to do. Don't forget, they're trying to build up NXT UK as well. So, he's getting some screen time over there. But the pandemic got in the way. It's the simple truth. So, he got the title in 2017. I think he lost it 2017. There's no denying that, the years that have followed have been underwhelming. But I think they've sort of sacrificed his development for the development of NXT UK. And then the pandemic hit, so 2020 was a dumpster fire. But you've got to remember, he's still very, very young. Very young. He won the title when he was, 19? That was 4 years ago, so he's still only about 23 now. So the guy has still got a potential 25-year career ahead of him. So I wouldn't worry too much about Tyler Bate. Right, Cameron Grimes celebrating his victory is backstage with Everrise. He says, excuse me, I'm going to the VIP room. Right, grizzled young veterans. Right, grizzled young veterans in the ring. They're going to be taking on Ciampa and Thatcher. Grizzled young veterans. Boom. These guys would fit with Cameron Grimes. What, the grizzled young veterans? Days would be the super brain know everything about wrestling. Oh, I don't know everything about wrestling. Far from it. Can I get a shout out? Shout out to you, Stop Motion Entertainment. Robin813 says, grizzled young veterans soon to be recognised. Time to take your shoes off, says Jadam. Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? They're trying to get that over in America now. The old shoes off if you hate Gibson. I like Everrise. They're good at comedy, but I wish I knew more about them. Yeah, I agree. I like Everrise. I think they're a good, legit tag team. They're a tag team that have paid their dues as well. They've jobbed out a lot, and now, it's kind of nice to see them getting... Oh, look at that! After the bell with Corey Graves, special guest, Volta. That's sexy. That is sexy. Definitely want to check that out. See what the big man's got to say. What does he want to do? Who does he want to face? What is next? Could he see himself going to Raw or SmackDown? Does he want to go to Raw or SmackDown? Does he want to face Roman? Does he want to be at WrestleMania? These are the questions I'd be asking him. Where'd you go from here after such an iconic reign? Will this reign ever end? If it's not going to end, what more do you want to achieve? How are you so good at wrestling? Please respond. That would be my first question. Mikkel, shout out to you. Days, would you prefer Johnny or Tommaso? For what, buddy? For what? Making a sandwich? Having a match? Go in the cinema with? I kind of feel like a lot of them answers would be Johnny, to be honest. I think if you go in the cinema, you're going to have more fun with Johnny. Sandwich making abilities, I can't comment. I have no idea. Match-wise, obviously, they're both excellent in the ring. But I think Johnny technically has got more 5-star rated matches from Meltzer. Not that that makes any difference, but there's really not much to separate them. They're both excellent in the ring. Very similar. Probably why they made a very good tag team. Similar but different. Tommaso brings a bit more aggression, whereas Johnny brings a bit more finesse, maybe a bit more technique. I'd say Tommaso's a bit more brawling. Wrestle with Andy, shout out to you. Hope you are well. Says, Days, I heard Volta doesn't want to move abroad full-time. I could see him being a great part-time champion like Brock. I've heard that as well. Yeah, I've heard that as well. I would love to know, is it true? And has his mind changed? Has he... Because who knows? I mean, he's achieved a lot in NXT UK. Been champion for a long, long time now. Is it getting to the point where he wants a new challenge? And, could it be that he goes to America for a year or so? But yeah, I mean, like, moving to America permanently, I completely agree. I've also heard that he's not interested. But I'd love to get his perspective on it. I'd love to know his thoughts and what he wants to do. Just might give us a good idea. So I really think that's going to be a fascinating interview. A lot of the times they'll interview people that you kind of sort of know everything. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like, if he interviews Bayley, what's Bayley going to say? She wants to be champion again. She thinks she's the best. She wants to be champ again. She's really proud of what she's achieved. Blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah. I kind of know everything that Bayley's going to say. I haven't got a clue what Volta's going to say. I haven't got a clue. So I think that's a really interesting interview. Really interesting. And legit one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. Gibson in a bit of trouble here, being put to sleep by Timothy Thatcher. Timothy Thatcher gets kicked in the head and just a big smile on his face. And Thatcher and Ciampa working really well together. Volta doesn't need to go anywhere. Let the peasants come to him. I love that idea. I've said before, I would love it if he won the Rumble, he went to WrestleMania, won the title, said goodbye, and then went to NXT UK. And if you want a shot at the title, that's fine. Do whatever you want to do on SmackDown. Do what you want to do on Raw. Establish who the number one contender is. And then when you've found someone, send them over to the UK. Send them to the UK. They'll face the end boss that is Volta. Volta will deal with them. And then he'll send whatever's left back over. And we just keep doing that until someone can beat him. And alright, he comes over for the pay-per-views. But, yeah, forget having him on Raw or SmackDown every single week. I don't even think the champion should be. I said this the other day, last night, in fact, about Bobby Lashley. Why is Bobby Lashley, as champion, having to defend his title at the pay-per-view and face both of the people he'll be facing on Raw in the build? It makes no sense to me. He's the champion. Like, he's the person that they have got to beat. Why is he in the mix? Why is he in the mud? Why is he in the scramble? Why is he being made to jump through hoop? He's the champion. Like, it should be that you've got everyone trying to establish themselves as number one contender on Raw and SmackDown. And then once you've established who that is, they go to the pay-per-view to face the champion. Seeing the champion, Bobby's had to face Braun last night. Next week he's going to face Drew. And then at the pay-per-view, he's got to defend his belt against two people in a triple threat, both of them in this triple threat. It just doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like, we're not trying to establish who the best is here. To be honest, it's just I don't know, it's just a mess. So I personally, I didn't mind Brock. Yes, he should have defended more, but I didn't mind not seeing him every week because I felt that when you did, it felt like a big deal. It's like, right, here we go. Is this the person to beat Brock? And that's what it should be. Is this the person that's going to beat Volta? And, many will try, many will fail, but someone will succeed, and what a moment that will be. So, yeah, I wish the champions kind of... you don't see Roman necessarily doing that. Roman, walks to the ring, he's backstage, he's got Paul Heyman, does his promos, he lets other people fight and whatever, and he then tends to just face them at the pay-per-views. Obviously, he did face Daniel last Friday, but there was a big stipulation on the line, and as a result, Daniel's gone from SmackDown now, so Roman got something pretty big out of that match. Otherwise, he wouldn't have granted it. Kind of feels like Roman is treated like a champion on SmackDown. He's treated as important. Granted, he's had to make that himself. He's had to forge that himself. That's been a big part of the story, is, him overcoming the authority figures like Adam Pearce and whatever. But I think they've done a really good job of making him feel special, feel big, feel important. They haven't done that with Bobby yet for me. They haven't quite done that, because they're just making him jump through the same hoops he was having to jump through when he wasn't champion. What's the point in being champion if you've still got to do all these matches and all this work? And he's a heel. He's a heel. He shouldn't be doing all this. He should be doing whatever he can to get out of all this. I said last night, I think MVP is an awful manager, because how is MVP allowing WWE to do this to Bobby? Right, there's a lot of anger here because they're talking about a tag, but the ref's having none of it. I can't watch Raw anymore. It's insufferable, says JP. If Roman holds the title the same amount of time that Volta has held it, I'm going to lose my mind, says Daniel. Efren the Beast said Big Match Man Saw versus Volta. That's who's going to end the streak. Corey said, who is your favourite AEW superstar? Have said this before, that's a bit of a problem, that I don't have an answer straight away. I wish I could just give you an answer. I don't really have one. I mean, I do like Thunder Rosa. And I really like Britt Baker, actually. I think Britt Baker's really cool. Kenny's doing some good stuff with Don Callis. Darby Allin's alright. I'm into Darby Allin. But I don't know that there's anyone that I'm like, wow, yeah, I love this person. I really like Serena Deeb, in all fairness. I do really like her. I think she's great. I don't know if that's a very satisfying answer, though. Maybe Britt Baker. I think Britt Baker's been a lot of fun. So I'd go with Britt Baker. Days, what's one WWE superstar you think is underrated? For me, it's Apollo. As with this new gimmick, it makes him 10 times better. Now with Commander Aziz, it also makes him a lot better. Someone that's underrated. Maybe Chad Gable. Chad Gable's one of the best wrestlers they have. I mean, legit, he's a great actual wrestler. When he was in, American Alpha, one of my favorite ever tag teams. American Alpha, I thought, were absolutely brilliant. They had some great matches. Like, they really, really did. I'd probably have them on my Mount Rushmore of NXT tag teams. American Alpha, Chad Gable, Jason Jordan. So, yeah, I kind of feel that Chad Gable, I feel really sorry for him that he is constantly overlooked. He's doing this Alpha Academy thing now, which is all right, but it's still not great. And I just feel like there is like a Daniel Bryan in there. I do feel like he's a small guy that can really wrestle. I wish he was getting more of an opportunity. And yeah, I kind of feel like there's a Daniel Bryan in there somewhere. But he's just not given a chance, really, to do a great deal. So, and in fairness, he's back to being Chad Gable, and he's not Shorty G anymore. That was absolutely horrific. That was horrific. Otis is underrated, says William. Johnny said, I sent you a funny picture of Randy and Matt Riddle on Twitter. Check it out. I will check it out. I will get up to speed with... I'm a bit behind on Twitter, actually, today. Ciampa and Thatcher are still in control, by the way. It's been a decent little match, this. Decent little tag match. Nothing crazy or special or anything. Just competent. Kicks by Drake. I don't like Chad and Otis as a tag team. Yeah, I'm not really feeling it either, to be honest. Chandler could be a beast if he wins his next fight. Yep. Oh. Not just a beast, but a champion. Bronson Reed needs to dethrone Johnny for the championship, says Jeremy. Robin said this tag match is very good. Austin said, unpopular opinion, I want Fiend versus Volta. You know what I'm going to say to that. Big clothesline. Both guys go over the top to the outside. Volta versus Kross. Title versus title. Be very good. Days, if you ever use 3-count wrestling, then cool. At the moment, they have signed items on sale from Greg the Hammer Valentine, Bob Holly, Mick Foley. I've never even heard of them. 3-count wrestling. Never heard of them. I mean, that's no shade. I mean, I'm sure they're great, but I've never heard of them. What I have heard of is that Euroshop have got a new loyalty thing. So apparently if you buy something from Euroshop, you get points now, and you save up the points and then you get money off. And apparently you get points for like following them on Instagram and following them on Twitter and doing all these other things gets you points. And obviously, like, I think it's like every pound you spend, you get so many points as well. So it looks like Euroshop have had a bit of a change, bit of a refresh. So it's quite interesting for anyone that uses Euroshop. If you had any big purchases lined up, like replica belts, then now might be a good time to do it. What was you going to say? Was you going to tell me you don't want Fiend versus Volta? No, I was going to say that I don't mind that as long as it's not supernatural. Do you know what I mean? Like, if Fiend comes down, Bray comes down, and has a legit match with Volta, I'd be fully on board. I would have no issue whatsoever, but if it's going to be supernatural, I'll rant so hard I'll probably break the internet. Because I definitely wouldn't want to see Volta getting involved in that. Not someone as legit and as good in-ring as what Volta is. Right, Ciampa and Thatcher have won. There's a lot of shouting on the commentary. Yeah, it's good. Good win for them too, over Grizzled Young Veterans. Days, I hate to ask stupid questions like this, but does the UK have toothpaste? Yes. We've had toothpaste throughout my whole life. We also have toothbrushes and I would say 99.999% of everything that America has, we have. The only things that we don't have are certain companies, you know, certain restaurants. Like we don't have Denny's, we don't have Waffle House, and we don't have Walmart, and we don't have Target, and we don't have... I don't even know if you have Best Buy anymore. We did have Best Buy, but they went. So we don't have them anymore. But I don't even know if they're even going in America. What's this? Okay, this is Johnny, Austin, and William Regal. It's going to be gold. It's going to be Austin versus Karrion Kross next week. Johnny is going to have to still face Bronson Reed, and now Austin is going to have to face Karrion Kross. No rules, no mercy. I don't know if you guys have got this advert. I've got an advert for NXT UK. No DQ. Loser leaves NXT UK. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was loser leaves NXT UK. Loser leaves NXT UK. Kenny Williams against Amia Jordan. Wow. NXT UK are doing a great job of putting on big main events. They've been doing like Miko Satomura versus Kaylee Ray, and obviously Volta versus Dragunov. You know, we've been getting some massive main events out of NXT UK. Even though those might not be the biggest names, loser leaves NXT UK is quite a big stipulation. So, yeah, that looks very interesting. NXT UK, don't sleep on that brand. Every time I've watched it, it's always been a solid, enjoyable show. And I've seen a lot of people online saying that it's one of their favourite wrestling shows of the week. Johnny Drip, I love that. The UK don't have Walmart. No, we don't have Walmart. Walmart bought one of our supermarkets that was called Asda, but it never changed the name, and I don't think it really changed. I think it just literally took parts of the profits, and that was it. Like, I don't think they changed anything about Asda that we have. So yeah, we don't have like Walmart. I'm trying to think what else we don't have. I don't know. Lots of little quirky things that America has that we don't have. Like, without starting a whole debate, we obviously don't have guns in the sense of you can't go to a shop and just buy them. I've only ever seen one gun shop in my life, and that was in Birmingham when I was very young, and it's gone now. And I think that was like for hunting purposes, of course. And they just had like a few in the window, and I should imagine, and it was obviously all like properly bars on the window and security glass and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, like I've never seen a gun shop other than that. And they certainly don't sell them in supermarkets and whatever. Blew my mind when I was in Walmart. Couldn't get my head around it. Could not get my head around it. It was so weird just seeing like ammo in a supermarket. So I'm trying to think what else. We've spoke about this a few times, but I understand it's quite interesting. There's a lot of people that haven't been to the UK, and vice versa. There's a lot of people in the UK that haven't been to America or Canada or whatever. So it is kind of fun exploring the differences, but there's not that many. I mean, the internet, the world is so much smaller now, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I remember when I was young, it used to take forever for movies to come over here. So, like, movies would be out in America, and then we'd have to wait, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, like, for the films to come over here. Now you get, like, worldwide releases, or it hits America, and then next week it's out over here. So we don't even have them delays anymore. Maybe on a couple of things. There's a few things that they purposefully delay. But, yeah, by and large, we don't even have those delays anymore. But that used to be a significant thing. Right. Here's Swerve. I told you I would beat Leon Ruff tonight, and that is exactly what Swerve did. And they slammed the door in the cameraman's face. We are sneaking our way to the half-time scores. We'll do that at the next commercial break. Two newest additions. Soray. Zayda Ramir. I can walk into a store, get a 40, walk in, get a Glock stand out in the corner here in America. That's crazy. That is crazy. Do you have 7-Eleven? No. No, we don't have 7-Eleven. Do you have Target? Nope. We don't have Target. I mean, what is Target? Target's just like a department store, really. It sells toys, it sells clothes, it's got a bit of food in there as well. I mean, we've got stores that are similar to that. Like department stores, really. Here's Karrion. So we've got stores similar, but we don't have Target. There's not many places you can get toys from now, thinking about it. Supermarkets, Smiths, Entertainer, B&M. That's about it. Well, I'm sure there are some other places, of course, but there's obviously no Toys R Us anymore. Karrion is making his way down to the ring. He's in civilian attire. And there is Scarlett. Joaquin said, Days Raw is unmissable. It is so great. I think you're watching the wrong year on the network. Karrion Kross. Have you guys got Myers? No, I don't even know what that is. I've never heard of it. I don't know what Myers is. Here in America, we have got Vice supermarkets. They're giant. Nope, don't know them. Never heard of them. We've got Sainsbury's, Tesco, Asda, Morrison's. Lidl, Aldi. Waitrose. Maybe some others, but those are the big ones. So we've got quite a few different supermarket chains. And they're big. They're big, big places when you go into them. Absolutely huge, as you can imagine. Just like Walmart's. You know, huge, massive buildings. So we do have things like Walmart, Target. Okay, Karrion. I'm not afraid of you either. He said that he was met by people saying that they weren't afraid of him. Well, guess what? I'm not afraid of you either. Let's give these people what they want. Let's give them a fight. He's a good promo. Austin Theory. Nah, this is good, man. Who's coming down? Kyle O'Reilly. So, Karrion Kross was talking to Austin Theory. Kyle O'Reilly's music has hit. Here's Cool Kyle. Cool Kyle. He's got a great hat, great shirt, shades. He looks like a hipster. Takes the hat off to Scarlett. Cool Kyle is here. WTF is he wearing, says Tribal Chieftain. What, Cool Kyle? That's the Shawn Michaels range. He pokes Karrion in the chest. Let me make this clear. I came out here to tell you to your face that I'm not afraid. Kyle said, "This is the match that I want." Pete Dunne. Bruiserweight. He's better on his own. He's better on his own. I much prefer him without Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch, and all this entourage. He's better on his own. I wouldn't have him talk. Pete Dunne, yep. Days, do the UK have school? Amazingly, we do, yes. An Easy E shirt. It's cool. That is cool, isn't it? That is one thing I will say about Cool Kyle. That is a cool t-shirt. Finn Balor's music hits. So Finn Balor is making his way out. Doo-doo. Finn Balor says Pete Dunne, been there, done that. Kyle O'Reilly, been there, done that. Oh, nice, Finn Balor. Throws a strike at Karrion. He knocks down Balor. Balor really tried to jump Karrion then. Strikes to the midsection by Finn Balor. This is quite interesting. We got Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, Finn Balor, all gunning for Karrion. Karrion just wanting to fight. Feels like a big segment, this. It's cool. And Karrion driving Balor into the corner. Knee strikes by Balor. Big clothesline. Oh, that was moody because the microphone was right there. Forearm strike. Balor goes down. Security in the ring. Is that part? That looks a bit like Parker, doesn't it? With his hair like that. Daniel Bryan. Yeah. It would be cool. No sign of him, though. What do you have against Birmingham? Nothing. I love Birmingham. All my family's from Birmingham. I think that Pete Dunne's accent is quite strong. And I don't mind accents because I think Balor's sounds really cool. But Pete Dunne, it might just be his promo ability, I don't know. But it just doesn't sound right. It doesn't have impact. And I don't know if it's the accent. It might be the Birmingham accent, just doesn't sound great. It doesn't sound threatening. So the Way have jumped into the ring. We've got Gargano. We've got Austin Theory. Johnny smashing Karrion with that North American Championship. I kind of feel like that's a bad idea. What they've just done was a really bad idea. I think that's going to make things worse for them next week. So, Karrion Kross is lying in the middle of the ring. In that segment, we got Johnny, we got Austin Theory, we got Finn Balor, we got Pete Dunne, we got Kyle O'Reilly, Karrion Kross, Scarlett. That was pretty stacked segment, that one. Days, do you see WWE go out of business because there's not so many fans anymore? No, there's fans all over the world for WWE. Don't be fooled by the decline in ratings because worldwide they are so popular still that, it's not a problem. I mean, it's a problem in the sense of when they come to renegotiate the TV deals, where are they going to get that money from? Because are USA going to be able to afford? Are they going to want to pay big bucks for a show that's bringing them less and less ratings? The problem is that everything's declining in ratings when it comes to traditional TV. So Raw and whatever's not doing that bad in comparison to everything else. Like, yes, it's declining, but everything's declining. So because obviously now you got Disney Plus, you got Netflix, you got YouTube, you got all this million different ways of watching things. So I think that's a concern. But obviously they've just made a lot of money from that Peacock deal, and I'm sure there's going to be other deals that they'll look to exploit. Because apparently there's, they've got deals. I mean, look at the documentary series they've got running on A&E. I would imagine that's bringing them some income. Obviously, they're getting money from Miz and Mrs. They tried the Mixed Match Challenge on Facebook Live a few years ago. They could always, go back to that. I'm sure Amazon would probably enjoy having some original WWE content. So I'm sure there's things for them to explore if USA and Fox deals ever fell through. And obviously, you know, the Saudi deal has been big for them. Horrible PR, but good money-wise. So, yeah, you know, there's they're fine. I don't see them going out of business anytime soon. They're making more money now than I think they ever have. Big Boy Dally said, early prediction, Kross wins his next match against whoever, and Daniel comes out. That'd be good. Right, halftime scores. Get in your halftime scores. What do you think of the show so far? I think there's been quite a few talking points, quite a few things that have happened. Obviously, we got a really good match between Swerve and Ruff. We've got that little segment that we just had there. We've got Karrion Kross going to be facing Austin Theory next week. We've got Kyle O'Reilly stepping up to Karrion Kross. Finn Balor's come back. He's still in the hunt. So, you know, there's been a few things. Nothing major, don't get me wrong, but it's been a pretty solid, pretty fun show. 7 said Pro Skills. 7 says Austin. 7 says Capsman. I'm seeing a theme. Michael says 7. Efren the Beast says 7. Brad says 7. Dylan says 9. Jimmy says 6. Brandon says 925. Big Boy Dally says 6. Normal Guy says 7. J14 says 7. Labria says 100 out of 10. Robin 9. LSW 7. Sunny Wolf 7. Tingalin says 6. James Chadwick 7.5. Just looking at scores at the moment. Brandon with a 9. John DeOria with a 7.5. Butterspark with an 8. Brian says 6.75. Zayda is back again. We are back. That was only a short commercial break, that one. We are back. So, she's a new female superstar. Zayda. Is she taking on Saray? Dun, 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 dun. Wow! She came up from the floor? She came up from the floor? Saray? Not sure about this music. It's a little bit nice, isn't it? Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, there we go. Zayd. I've missed an A, have I? Let's have a look. Boom. Right. Bella sounded. We are underway. Nice takedown. So I'm looking forward to seeing Saray again. She's got so much hype around her. Zayda taking the legs away from Saray. Saray taking the legs away from Zayda. Kick to the midsection by Saray. Side headlock by Saray. Strike to the midsection. Against the ropes goes Zayda. Drop kick by Saray. It's a great entrance song, says Dan. I want a day's one. She seems like she's totally uninterested. Back elbows. Saray wrestles like Asuka. Kick to the midsection. Against the ropes. Oh, she got took down there by Zayda. Nice headlock. Submission hold applied by Zayda. Saray trying to get over to the ropes. And she gets there. But it's like watching Asuka. He read it. Yeah. Her theme song sounds like a Wii theme tune. It does. You're right. Sounds like the start of Animal Crossing or something like this. I mean, fun fact, I've never played Animal Crossing, but I would imagine Saray's theme very much would work for the intro music for that game. Alright, she wants everyone to clap along, getting the crowd involved. Nice. She's got a... It's a lot of work for no reward, wasn't it, that? Against the ropes goes Saray. Ooh, that was hard! Woo! That drop kick, man! Lovely bridge. Look at that pin. Yeah, but just seeing a oh! She drop kicked through her. She didn't drop kick her. She drop kicked through her. She was trying to drop kick someone behind her by the looks of it. Brutal. Yes, either video game or game show music. Saray is overrated so far. Yeah, I mean, she's pretty solid, but there's... I don't know, there's nothing that's, like, blowing my mind. I mean, the dropkick was just brutal. Saray against the ropes. No one home. That was awkward. 1, 2... No, ref didn't count it 'cause the shoulder was up. Back into the corner. Shoulder charges. Oh, uppercut. Net breaker by Rainier. Asuka should get fired so I don't have to see her anymore. I think Asuka's one of the best female wrestlers they've got. Quite fun on her promos. Excellent in the ring. Seemed like she was aiming for Barrett, says AJ, yes. How is she overrated? She's new. Well, she's being billed as like this one of the best Japanese female stars, you know, the talk of the Joshi world, and you know, this is the second match that we've seen now, and I have to agree, there's nothing that's like blowing my mind about her at this stage. There's Volta. He's very upset with him, I think. Incompetence. Volta on a tablet. Electronic Volta. There we go. All right. Diamond Mine time. Let's see if we get any more clues here. We dominate, pressure, perform, become more. This is the key. Diamond Mine. And that's it. Nah, pretty much the same as last week. Volta is intimidating even when he's on a tablet. Even I would not want to face Volta when he's on a tablet. Yeah, man, he's cool. He's really cool. I'm really looking forward to checking out that interview with him and Corey Graves on Friday. Really looking forward to that. Diamond Mine, yeah, still no answers. Is it a faction? Is it a show within a show? Is it an MMA brawl for all? Rumors are it's not Tessa. That the rumors are that we know that much. It's not anything to do with Tessa, but we don't know what it is actually to do with though. So we are still waiting to get a bit more, a few more answers. Look like an MMA thing, says William. Yes. Diamond Mine song almost sounds like Balor's theme, says Butterspark. Nando said her drop kicks hurt me. I do like to see wrestlers really laying in their moves. Honestly, I'd be fine if we saw wrestlers less, but they worked harder, like more brutal matches, harder matches, and then they needed time off. Do you know what I mean? Because that way, at least, you know, you're really seeing some stuff. So, you know, if after, like, you know, you got a really good match and they were really laying it in, and then you just don't see them for a few weeks, I'd be totally fine with that. I think that'd be really cool. Days, can you react to The Fiend return to Fastlane? Can you react to The Fiend return to Fastlane? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean, bud. Can you react to The Fiend return to Fastlane? Are you asking me to go back and watch some... I mean, we will have watched it. If you're asking me to watch something that's happened, it will exist. It will have been on a live stream. Days, who's the best UFC fighter right now? Ngannou, Nunes, Usman. One of them. Possibly NXT Underground, says Big Boy Dally. We've got a weird extra gum ad. Oh, okay. I don't know what I've got right now. I've got a Renault car advert. That's boring. Oh, it's an electric car, actually. Still boring. So, there we go. That's what I've got. A Renault car ad. And now I've got a BT Sport ad that's talking about what you can watch on BT Sport, like cricket, football. Saray looks decent. She just needs her first feud, says Alex. Thug Rose! I love Thug Rose. I don't know that I could say she's the best. I mean, I don't know if she's like the same level as like Usman. And you know what I mean? But she is maybe my favourite. Right. Oh, hello. Backstage, we got Saray. Here's Tony Storm. There's Zoe Stark. I like Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark checking on Zayda, and Saray was just checking on her as well. Now we got Jake Atlas. Right, Jake Atlas. I don't know who he's facing. Jake Atlas versus LA Knight. Zoe and Tony. I really like Zoe Stark. She has really caught my eye. Okay, so LA Knight versus Jake Atlas, and LA Knight is running his mouth off. Let me talk to you. Nice arm drag by Atlas. Is the street fight the main event? Yes. I believe it is. Tony had a Yoda shirt. I never saw that. Zoe Stark needs a character. She does. She needs a bit more of a gimmick. At the moment, she's just kind of, I think, still finding their way with her. That obviously she's had a few solo matches. This is going to be her first feud, isn't it, really, against Tony? So I'm looking forward to seeing this play out. Zoe is starting to look like a bodybuilder. I think she's been that way for a while. I think she's always like lifted since she came, like, well before she was in NXT. Maybe she's upped her intensity on that. I'm not sure, but she is very strong. When is the next takeover? I've not seen that announced, to be honest. I'm not too sure. Can't be too far away. They tend to do, like, is it 6 a year, something like this? So we had one probably. When would the next one be? Maybe June. Shoulder tackle by LA Knight. I want some Lumis. Oh yeah, we haven't had any Lumis tonight. JP said Zoe Stark has impressed me way more than the hyped Stardom chick. Juan says the Diamond Mine ad is for Dustin Poirier. Tingalin said if you could pick a UFC fighter to join WWE, who would it be? Who would it be? I think Masvidal would be interesting. Because I think he's a showman. I think he can talk. We obviously know he can fight, but the way he fights, he's a brawler. Do you know what I mean? He's someone that likes to throw hands and get stuck in, and I kind of think that would lend itself quite well to the wrestling world. So I'd probably go with Jorge Masvidal. The BMF. I mean, obviously Connor as well, because he'd bring such attention, but... now that I think the hacker storyline could have had big things, they literally threw that in the... They did, yeah. They did. Right, Jake Atlas is up in the corner. We've got half an hour left of this show. Half an hour left. LA Knight running over. Jake Atlas rolls out the way. Nice kick to the midsection. Boot to the face. Spin kick misses. Oh, that was kind of moody from LA Knight. Jennifer Lockhart. Shout out to you just as LA Knight is victorious. You and Lorelei do have something in common. Both of you like Stark. See, I knew it. I knew it. I knew she would come around. She's a good kid. Do you know what I mean? It's good that she appreciates good wrestling. I knew it. She even likes Tony Stark and... Tony Stark. Stupid Tony Stark. She's got to let this go. She's got to let this Marvel thing go. It's not healthy for a young lady. Hey, there's Dexter Lumis. You want to talk about things that aren't healthy for young ladies? There's Dexter Lumis with some flowers. And there's Candice trying to get Dexter to go away. And she turns the blind so that Indy doesn't see. She's trying to get Indy to focus. So Candice moves a picture out the way that Lumis had drawn. She turns the blind so that Indy doesn't spot Dexter standing. He's a bit of a creep, isn't he? I mean, I know that's his thing, but like, it's a bit creepy standing and staring in a doorway. I don't think that's how you woo women, to be honest. I mean, not that I know, but maybe it is. Maybe that's where I've been going wrong all this time. You have to stand in a doorway, staring through the glass menacingly. So, yeah, Jennifer, shout out to you. Lorelei is a fan of Tony Stark and Zoe Stark. Very cool. And maybe they're related. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe when she gets her gimmick, she's going to be Iron Woman. That's going to be her gimmick going forward. But tell Lorelai that I say hello. Pass on my best to my little Marvel friend. Zoe could become the next China, says Juan. Zoe wrestles like one of the guys in a great way, says Nando. Jeremy said, can you imagine Dexter Lumis becoming a Sith Lord? Well, Sasha Banks might be able to make those dreams come true for him. Mikhail said, hi Days, I like Marvel. That's all right. We've all got, dirty secrets in our lives. We've all got things. We've all got regrets. At this point, I hope people know I just enjoy winding people up about Marvel now. That's the point that it's got to. This has just become a pastime for me. That's all this is now. I don't actually hate Marvel. I just don't watch it. I've never read the comics. I don't watch the films. I don't really have any interest. But I can't say like I despise it. But at this point, it's just become fun to wind people up. I do like Batman. I do like Gotham. Well, I did like Gotham, and then it started to go a bit rubbish. But, yeah, Batman's pretty cool. I like the Dark Knight stuff. I still need to see the Joker movie. I still need to see that film. It's something I really do want to watch. Days, I know you don't play many games now, but what was your favourite game back then? That's a great question. When I was young, I used to love playing Street Fighter 2, of course. I had a Mega Drive, which was a Genesis in North America. So I used to play... They had a football managing game, which sounds so weird for a kid to play, but I loved it. I loved being able to buy the players I wanted, put my own team together, see how they would do. Do you know what I mean? Set the tactics. If someone's not playing well, can I buy a new player to put in that position? And I used to spend hours on that. I used to love that game. Premier Manager, it was called, on the Mega Drive. And I spent hours and hours and hours on it. So I used to love that. Age of Empires on the PC as well. We had that. I don't know if any of you ever played that game. Love that game. I played that a lot as a kid as well. And then, of course, things like Mario Kart, GoldenEye, Sonic, the classics. Anything that's like a Nintendo 64, Mega Drive, mid-90s, yeah, we're talking. Jennifer said, don't worry, I've given her a Marvel break. I upgraded her to Mortal Kombat. Very cool, very good. Is she running around now like Sub-Zero or something? Very cool. Has anyone seen that film, by the way? Good, bad? People enjoy it, not enjoy it? The new Mortal Kombat film? Little promo from Tony Storm. We've got Legado del Fantasma in the ring right now. Sonic is better than Mario, says Austin. Was you ever into any of the Transformers? Their figures were amazing. I wasn't. I never watched the cartoon. So I never got into the figures. My cousins had loads of them. But, yeah, I understand the figures were great. I completely understand. I have nothing against Transformers, but I was never into it. Same with Pokemon. I was never into that. Didn't have any of the cards. Never watched a single episode of the show. I could be sat on a fortune now. The Emperor of Lucha Libre. It's a great film, says Big Boy Dally. It was good, says Chris. Amazing, says Assassin's Creed. Joker was alright-ish, says William Hensey. Oh. Street Fighter, amazing. Outrun, very cool. Sonic, yep. Mortal Kombat, yep. I'm feeling you, bonkers, LFC. Okay. He wants the Cruiserweight Championship. Of course, Kushida has got that at the moment. MSK, don't think we've forgotten about you. Right, we're just hearing from Legado del Fantasma. Austin said, I loved Joker. Jennifer said, we loved it. She now runs around like Scorpion. That's cool. Do you know, I can't remember too many of the characters from Mortal Kombat, if I'm being honest. I played way more Street Fighter. And whenever I played Mortal Kombat, I'd always play as Sub-Zero or Scorpion. So, I can't remember. There was one called Bullrog that had all the arms. What was his name? I can't remember. And I think there's a Sonya Blade. But yeah, I'm not very good at naming Mortal Kombat characters. I have to be honest, I'd be more into a Street Fighter film. If they made a proper, really cool Street Fighter film, that would be amazing. I know they did. They've done a few Street Fighter films, but I'm talking about proper big budget Hollywood. Just be amazing. Something on the scale of the Avengers, but with Street Fighter. Oh. Hey, there's Kushida on the screen. We're running out of time here. We've only got just over 20 minutes. We know what needs to happen. This promo needs to end. Daisy, have you got any AEW figures? I've managed to avoid getting them. Not because they're bad, but because the last thing I need is a whole new collection. That is the last thing I need. So, yeah, I've avoided them so far. But there are a lot of good ones. Okay, right, so we're done with that. So I'm sure we're going to move on now to the tag match. Have you seen her past matches? Sarray has a reason to be overrated. I haven't seen her past matches. No, I don't know much about her at all. So, you know, they're really building her up. So far, she's fine. I haven't got an issue with her. But I don't know that she's living up to the hype, but we've only seen 2 matches. We're hearing from Raquel Gonzalez right now, who's backstage. Raquel says, respect the champ and don't cut me off. So we're hearing from Mercedes Martinez as well. Did anyone have Ghostbusters figures? I had. What did I have? I had Stay Puft. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was so annoying because he was only about this big. And in the movie, he towers over them. You might have been able to have got a bigger one. I don't know. I certainly never had it. I only ever had one that was like this size. But I had a few of those. Mortal Kombat the movie sucks, says Johnny. Austin said Shotzi and Ember are going to sadly retain. In what order are you currently enjoying the wrestling shows? SmackDown first, then NXT, then AEW, but they do change. Like, AEW might be better this week because it's blood and guts. And then, I mean, like, honestly, a million places below that. You've got being punched in the face. You've got being low-blowed. You've got having all your money stolen from you. You've got getting lost in a foreign country and having no way of getting back home. Below all of that, I'd rather any of those things. Below all of that, you've got Raw. So, yeah, that's my scale. I enjoy watching it. Raquel looks good. There is a bigger Stay Puft. I knew that I was cheated as a child. I knew it. I mean, was there a bigger one back in the 90s? I swear I only had one that was this big. It was like, in fairness, it was still a bit bigger than the figures, but I mean, it wasn't that much bigger. I think they avoided taking me to toy shops because obviously I'd want everything. So we never really went to Toys R Us all that much. And Toys R Us, there was no Smiths when I was a kid. Smiths wasn't a thing. I don't know. The dog, Frankie Monet's dog, is in the tank. Oh, the dogs. Why is it so big, says Ember? Shotzi says, we're not doing this. We're not going to get into the tank tonight. No tank. Ah. Next week is stacked. Shotzi is dressed as Freddy Krueger. Does anyone here still play World of Warcraft? Asked Jeremy. That was, I mean, that game was so popular. I think Ronda Rousey plays that still. I've always been interested in those, like, big online games where you can, like, do you know what I mean? Meet up with people, have a chat, how's your day been, blah, 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 blah. You go off exploring, let's go kill a wizard or whatever it is. Like, no shade, I've never played it, so I genuinely don't know what you do. But I think you do go on, like, just millions of different missions, don't you? And, I don't know, it's like a life within a life. It's a bit weird. But there's something very intriguing by it, but, I don't know. I might get addicted to it. You might never see me again. I might be off being like a level 7 goblin or something, I don't know. Austin Theory said, those are high, are they real? Those are huge, are they real? You did. No tank because there is poop in it, yes. Do you notice how they're just staring at it, looking over it and smelling it? Mortal Kombat doesn't suck. Whoever said that is a muppet, says Lee Peters. Days, what's the best WWE game? Well, I mean, obviously people say No Mercy. That gets a lot of love. Here Comes the Pain. That gets a lot of love. I mean, I played those games. They were great. The one that I always really enjoyed, and it's a bit of a weird one, but the one that I always enjoyed, and don't ask me why, was SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. I think it was the last game, or one of the last games, to have, like, GM mode, where you could book the show. So, not only could you, like, do, you know, wrestling and all of that, but you could also book the show. And that goes back to what I said earlier of how I loved managing that football team. You know, so, like, I got a bit of everything with that game. It was a pretty good roster as well. It was Raw versus SmackDown versus ECW as well. So there was quite a big roster, quite some good legends in there. But I think, I don't know why it was. I don't know what it was about that year. But that year, I just decided I was buying the game. I was buying the game guide when they were a thing, and I just hammered that game. Like, I really put a lot of time into it, and I actually really played it. It might be the last wrestling game that I really put a lot of time into. And I got quite good at it, and I was really enjoying the story, and I just really enjoyed it. And then, I don't know, 2009 I bought but didn't play. I think I've bought every year, and I just haven't really got into them ever since. So, 08, I was really into the 08 version. I played a lot of Royal Rumble back in the day on Genesis, Mega Drive. I mean, I never really knew what I was doing, so, but I played a lot of it, but I can't say it's my favourite. Obviously, WrestleFest's awesome. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm still waiting for that iconic wrestling game. I still feel like it's on the way. I still feel like it's not quite come out yet for me. Hello, we've got Cameron Grimes. He's out on the town. Okay, so there's a doorman. It says, my name's Cameron Grimes and I'm going to the VIP room. Are we going to see Ted DiBiase again? I hope so. The whole venue has been rented out. Oh, look at this, the limo. The limo's arrived. It's got a big dollar sign on the front of it. It's got to be in it. Yes! Don't just rent a booth when you can buy the whole place. Everybody's got a price. That wasn't even funny. Ted DiBiase! I love him, man. Yes, keep giving me more of those Ted DiBiase, Cameron Grimes moments. Oh, what is it building to? I hope he gets the $1 Million Championship. That would be great. That would be great. We've only got 12 minutes for the street fight. What the flip's going on? Everyone's got a price. Next week is stacked, isn't it? Right, here come the Way. Everyone's got a price for the $1 Million Man. Candice and Indy. Okay, so, oh, hello, I've properly messed this up, haven't I? There we go. It's going to run over by 8 minutes. Oh, I didn't know this. I didn't realise we had an overrun tonight. What's happening next week? It's quite a bit. It's been announced. We've got 2 out of 3 falls, is it? With Escobar and Kushida. We've got Austin Theory and... Why are they in... I don't understand. Ember's dressed as Jason. We got... Shotzi as Freddy Krueger. It's not Halloween, I don't understand. I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm still into it. So, yeah, we've got Austin Theory, Karrion Kross, Kushida and Escobar. Some other things. I hope Dexter and Indy fall back in love. Oh, I'm sure they will. It's basically the Romeo and Juliet of our generation. The following cup. No. Bella sounded, and we are underway. There's no waiting around. The following. That's it. Wade Barrett said, we don't need ring announcements for where we're going in this one. Right, Tag Team Championships, Women's Tag Team Championships on the line. I love the Way's family dynamic. Raquel Mercedes Martinez next week. Is it? That's next week. I missed that. That's cool. Into the barricade. Stack show in it next week. Chairs being pulled out from underneath the ring by Candice. Nice kick to the midsection by Ember Moon. Look at the smile on the face of Shotzi. She is absolutely living her best life right now. She's loving it. Shotzi and Ember were really trying to channel their inner Alexa Bliss. Trash can thrown at the leg of Candice. Face first onto a table goes Indi Hartwell. I want Cameron Grimes versus Ted DiBiase. I think he's well past being an in-ring competitor, to be honest. I'm not sure you're going to get that match. He was a hell of a worker back in his day, though. Hell of a worker. Big chop by Shotzi. Today is my sister's birthday. Her name is Maggie. Can you say happy birthday? She's watching right now. Absolutely. Happy birthday to Maggie. Hope you had a great day. Trump and Biden JPG. Yeah, happy birthday to your sister. Very cool. Ember with the trash can, putting it over the head of Indy. Oh, stereo drop kick. Dents the trash can, and Indy is down. So, Shotzi and Ember. Ember goes to the outside. Shotzi charging over. Candice takes the knee away, kick to the head, and Shotzi goes to the outside. So Candice and Indy in the ring. Against the ropes goes Candice. Baseball slide. Ah! Both Shotzi and Ember using trash can lids on Candice LeRae. And they're looking under the ring now. What they're going for? Not finding anything. Table. Going for a table by the looks of it. So another table has been produced. I wonder whatever happened to Ted DiBiase Jr. I think he went on to do like Christian work. I'm sure he went on to become a priest or something. I know that there was like a religion was heavily involved in Ted DiBiase and DiBiase Jr. Because I watched a Where Are They Now kind of a show, and I'm sure he went on to do like working with kids and summer camps and, you know, Christian things. Eric Defcon Prime Dirigi, shout out to you. My unpopular opinion / guilty pleasure, I like WrestleMania 4. Wow, that's good. It's so weird. WrestleMania 4, I always think, is this really long saga. You know, because it was 2 videotapes. I always think it's like this really long, bloated show. But it's not really. I think it's like 4 hours long. Which isn't that bad for a WrestleMania comparison to what we got in later years. But obviously it's like a tournament. It's a one-night tournament, and you've got the rematch. Amazingly, I mean, that's something that never gets spoken about. Hogan, Andre, WrestleMania 4. They faced each other at WrestleMania 3, but no one ever talks about the fact they faced each other again at WrestleMania 4. It's never spoken about. Candice with a fire extinguisher. They'd set up some chairs on the outside. They'd put Indy on. They were looking to wipe her out. And just as they were about to hit a suicide dive, Candice appeared with a fire extinguisher. So, yeah, shout out to you, Eric. It is quite an interesting one. And, of course, the main event of that was Macho Man versus Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase main evented a WrestleMania. How wild is that? $1 Million Man versus Macho Man was a main event at a WrestleMania. And again, never gets spoken about. My unpopular opinion is that Raw is better than AEW, says Austin. Days, who is your favourite superstar of all time? I always say either Undertaker or Shawn. I think both of those had a big impact on me as I was growing up watching wrestling. My unpopular opinion is that WrestleMania 9 was good, says Crazy Ginger Jake Holder. I like 9. I've got a soft spot for 9 because of the fact that that was the first proper year I was watching. And it was one of my first WrestleMania experiences. So I don't mind 9. I really like the gimmick, the theme. Do you know what I mean? Like the toga party kind of vibe. I like all that. Shame the matches weren't great, but we got weird matches as well, like Bob Backlund versus Razor Ramon. How weird. Crush versus Doink at WrestleMania. It was weird. A new mode is coming to WWE Supercard. It's called Code Breaker. It's got some users saying maybe Jericho has an agreement with WWE to do this. Maybe an event card. It is his move after all. LB said, I smell a Dexter Lumis involved finish. William said, my favourite is boobs. Literally anyone with boobs. I've got boobs. JP said WrestleMania was the Mega Powers Explode. Hogan Savage, WrestleMania 5, yes. Yes, I love that WrestleMania. It's one of my favourites. First videotape I ever got for wrestling. Stepper Binzaguri by Shotzi. Candice and Indy both over by the ropes. To the outside goes Ember. Shotzi with a senton to the back. We've got a table set up in the corner. We've got chairs in there. We've got trash cans in there. Candice goes hard into that ring post. Into the corner goes Indy. Oh, I like this. Shotzi. Oh, she managed to block it with her hands, Indy, there, though. I like what Shotzi did. She wrapped her legs around the head of Indi Hartwell. Went over the ropes, really kind of exposing Indy. But she still managed to block it. 1, 2. Ember with the pin, but Indi Hartwell making the save. The way has been brilliant for Indi Hartwell. Because we obviously didn't know much about her before. I mean, she is relatively new. But she feels like a big deal now, Indi Hartwell. Ember and Shotzi are very much in control. Uh, 8 minutes left. Yeah, apparently we've got this overrun tonight, which I wasn't aware of. Candice is on top of a ladder. Shotzi with another senton and doesn't quite get it. She clips the edge of the ladder. The edge of the ladder breaks. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they were meant to go through the ladder, but it's a bit nasty how she clips the edge. That's not fun for Candice. That's not fun for Candice at all. Ooh, and that's not fun for Indi Hartwell. She seemed to really smash her head against that table. Oh, that... Oh. She's got to be seeing stars. The table didn't break. Indi Hartwell just got planted through the table. The table, I don't know if it's at the wrong angle or whatever, but it doesn't break, and she just kind of, her head bounces off it. Man, some of these big spots have really not gone to plan. Look at the table. It's like bowed in the corner. Indy, though, back up onto her feet, and she kicks out at that ladder. Down goes Shotzi and Ember. Yeah. Wowie. Nasty. Wowie. Alright, Shotzi is on top of a ladder. Oh! Springboard moonsault by Candice. Only gets 2. Shotzi was on a ladder being held up by Indy. She needed to go off the top rope, not the middle rope. She couldn't get the height. She kind of clips her with her knees. She really needed to go up one more. Good match, this. Good... I'm not a fan of all the spots that are being set up. There's a lot of people just lying in positions for no reason whilst they're waiting to be hit with moves. But, you know, if you look past that, some brutal spots. This match is all over the place. Yeah, I mean, that's brutal, though, with... Ember being planted on a table. Into the barricade goes Shotzi. Now Indy is clearing the announce table. Right, she's got Shotzi. Oh, Shotzi's firing back. I don't know what she just smashed over her. Indy is on top of the announce table. Shotzi is going to climb up the scaffolding. I don't even know why that little scaffolding's there, to be honest, but... Wow! That was cool! Crossbody from the top of there. They're piping in... Well, I don't even know if they're piping in, but there are "This is awesome" chants. That was a hell of a crossbody. That was a hell of a crossbody. OMG Blackheart says Nod Freeze. It was a coffee mug, was it? Right, in the ring, we've got Candice, we've got Ember. Candice going for the pin. Looking for a powerbomb. Sit down powerbomb by Ember. 2. Kick out. We are into the final few minutes of this one. Shotzi is damn good, says AJ. Strike by Candice. I mean, this does feel like a war. As I said, my only criticism would be there's been a few moments where people have been lying on ladders and... Do you know what I mean? It's clearly setups for spots. Onto the table goes Ember. It's like, now, Ember, just get off that table. You know what's going to happen. I never understand why they just lie there. Indy, springboard, elbow to the outside. Shotzi on top of a chair. Oh, gets stomped down. Face first onto a chair. 2, 3. We've got new women's tag team champs. Indy and Candice have done it. Wow. New women's champs. Overall, I mean, it's entertaining. It's an entertaining match. Indy and Candice. It's an entertaining match. And new. Candice finally wins a bout, says Robin. Candice is finally a champion. So, yeah, there we go. They've done it. They're holding up the titles on the entranceway. Where's Johnny? Johnny should come out. And Austin, they should all be celebrating together. There we go. They hold up the belts. And that is the end of the show. That was a good main event. Fun. Entertaining. Right. Get in your scores. What did you think of the show? What did you think of the show? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Was you a fan? Are you not a fan? Are you happy? Are you sad? Clap your hands. I'm glad that Dexter didn't get involved, said Nando. That was a great match. Really entertaining. Oh, they left. Oh, okay. Yeah, good point. Shame, though. It would have been nice to see them all celebrating together. 7.5 says Brony. 7.5 says Austin. 8 says Andrus. 7.25 says Pro Skills. 7.5 says Let Him In. 8 says Slocky. 7 says Taboy. 8 says Scrap Dog. 8 says Broken Dreams. 9 says Martin. 8.5 says Big Boy Dally. Jason with an 8. Jeremy with the 10 out of 10. Troy Knight with an 8. Ephraim the Beast says 7.75. David Conley says very good match, 8.5. Crimson Rain says 7.5. Scrap Dog 13 says 8. 4.2 says Braden. Sonny said, I wish that Dexter had come out. Don Lyon says 9.5. LS Dub says 7.5. Brony says 7.5. Jimmy said the most entertaining WWE show since TakeOver. 7. Okay. When I started reading that, I thought you was going to be like 10 out of 10 or something. This was the best wrestling show, the best WWE show since TakeOver. Wow. 4 out of 10. Pro Girls 15 says 7.5. Dynamic Doom says 8. Capsman says 8. I'm watching NBA right now. Ant Washington says 8. JP said, I feel that Frankie Monet should have had a factor in the match. Austin said 7.5. Candice is a champion. Going Ghost. Shout out to you, says 7.75. Sonny says 8. No Eva Marie, so 10 out of 10, says William Hensey. JP17 Plays said 8 out of 10. Poor Theory needs a title. Robert says 9. Brony 7.5. Bunkers LFC 7.43. Johnny Gardner says 9. Hype Man 15 says 8. Laurie says 7. Brandon says 9.25. Grey BL Games says 8. Retribution says 7. Gamers Bayou says 8.25. I think I've read most of them, ones that I've seen anyway. I'm gonna go with... Doesn't mean I was entertained. There's bits on this show I didn't need, but I was entertained. I feel like this is a solid show, man. It's a decent main event. I'm going to go 7.5. I'll go 7.5. 7.5. We've got new champions, which gives us a nice talking point. Decent main event. Rest of the show was fairly solid. Would have liked a little more. Kind of feel like some of the matches were a little bit, LA Knight versus Jake Atlas. Like, don't really need that. I like the first match. Cameron Grimes, Ted DiBiase is fun. The LeRae match didn't really do much. It's just to showcase her, isn't it, really? Just to kind of give her a bit more exposure. So, no, good. Another good week for NXT. So, there we go. That was NXT. And, of course, tomorrow, Blood and Guts. Blood and Guts. So, I don't quite know how I'm going to make the stream look, to be honest. I'll probably go with Blood and Guts. I don't know. It's so hard. There will be a stream tomorrow. It will be AEW, and it will be one. That's all you need to know. So join us as normal, but the thumbnail, the title might just look a little bit different. Just because there's a lot of uncertainty at the moment around copyright strikes, and AEW have got a rogue bot that just loves to dish out copyright strikes, so just got to be super, 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 super careful. Super careful. So, we'll see. But, right, well, I'm going to go off and do that anyway. Worry about that. Thank you so much for joining us, as always. Thought it was a really fun show. And certainly, gets the bad taste of Raw out of our mouths. But we move on to Blood and Guts tomorrow, which should be, one of the big talking points of the year. Big show. So we've got that tomorrow. And, we're sneaking our way towards SmackDown on Friday. And a very good-looking UFC this weekend. So very excited for that as well. So some fun stuff coming up this week. So thanks a lot for joining us. Really appreciate the support as always. I hope you had a good evening. Continue to have a good evening. And hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.